Hello, everybody, and welcome back to. My camera's not working, but up there it goes. There's my scuff. All right, everybody, welcome back to Run the Flood, our weekly Shadowrun 5e game here in Table of Horrors. I am your Cosmic GM Softhanomicon, and I am joined by my wonderful friends and players. Mojave, played by Daybreakathon. Morningstar, played by Urissa Rave. Cloudburst, played by Lord Rodan. Anxiety, played by Slippery Nosferatu, and Jason, played by a resident thirst trap, Nascavian. When we last left off, the party had an interesting series of a very eventful day. Let's go with that. That had ended in a near miss with Bloody Mary and ice cream. As we come into the scene, 404 in exasperation has exclaimed that she will give Scales some information, but right now she's exhausted and she is trudging down the hallway towards her hidden room. And Mojave, you follow her down the hallway.
Yeah, just sort of, hops out of his seat and really quickly, skips on after her, heading her off before she can disappear into her techno hole. Um, just slides in front of her like, hey, 404, you listen to me right now, yeah? I want. You remember what we talked about this morning, yeah? I want you to know right now, I'm speaking to you as Doc Mojave, okay? You're exhausted?
I was going to say she had finally turned around as you have come up to her very quickly, and she kind of leans against the wall and looks at you attentively but tired.
I know you're exhausted. I know you're at your limit. And I know you're probably going in there to try and do more work on the slide. I know you well enough. And I'm sure I don't got to tell you, 404, you push too hard for too long, your cognitive function, your emotional response, it all goes out the window. It's worse than being drunk. Your senses begin to tell lies and you start making mistakes. Right now, you know we can't afford mistakes. Too many people are counting on you to stay sharp. Gotta sleep. But I get it. There ain't always time for that. Clock's ticking down and there's so many lives at stake. Faced with a job only you're equipped to do. Sometimes personal health's gotta take a backseat. So, if you really truly feel like sleep's too much of a risk right now, you got options. Short-term solution kind of options, but there's options. I can help you stay awake and sharp.
Is this ending up in you offering me drugs?
Yes, if you want them.
I haven't taken drugs in 20 years. Other than caffeine.
It's that or sleep, 404. Either way. And if you ain't gonna sleep, I can mix up some crank for you. Got a little stash of long haul. And if you don't want either of those and you don't want a nap, I can't let you keep pushing like this. Not for your sake, not for their sake, not for anybody's sake. You gotta be sharp.
Everything is on the brink of collapsing.
I know.
I have been up for what feels like a week.
I can tell. So either you gotta do things the natural way and recharge your brain by going to bed, or you can hit the snooze button on exhaustion a few days more and take what I'm offering you. Them's your options. But if you keep going like this, 404, your brain's going to shut down on you. One way or the other, you're going to start making more mistakes, and somebody's going to get hurt. I know you know your business best, but I know mine. And I can't let you keep going like this.
Sometimes I hate this body.
Yeah, well.
I'm not taking drugs, and I'm not letting that magic touch me.
So you're going to bed?
Yes.
You
I'll go
swear
to
it?
bed. Yes. I'll go to bed.
I would like to judge intentions.
Please roll judge intentions. She's tired, but that did seem like an honest statement.
Just sort of that long, slow, appraising look, the unspoken vibe of I am going to be watching your aura to make sure, and you're going to hear it from me if you don't. But sort of a slow nod. Let me know if things hit the point where you need what I have to offer, yeah? I am a doctor, more or less.
More or less.
These days, it's as best as most folk can get.
She turns away from you and basically opens her door, but she doesn't walk in. Kind of just one arm up on the wall, looking into her room, but not moving. And over her shoulder, she says, "Back then, you reminded me of your father. Now, you sound like Adelaide."
His face remained utterly impassive at the first half of that comment, and in the second half, he does, crack a smile. I mean, these past 2 years, she's as close to a mom as I can remember. I'd like to think she taught me well.
She drugged me once. I overworked all the time. One time when I refused to sleep, she walked in, handed me some tea. Then after I drank the whole thing, she looked me dead in the face and said, "You'll thank me later."
Nod, nod, nod.
I woke up in bed, all cuddled up. I was very angry at the time.
I bet you needed it.
I did. Because if I hadn't slept, I probably would have missed something. And the day after that, I would have been dead.
Nod, nod, nod. Get good rest, yeah?
Yeah. I'm gonna need it. I got a bad feeling that I messed up really bad.
Think about it in the morning.
I'll try. It's probably gonna be all night instead. And she starts walking into her room.
If you end up needing tea, just let me know. Calls as she disappears.
Yeah, and it's a little bit later that the door automatically pulls itself shut.
Yeah, I'm strolling back into the main room after I have said my piece, and I will find that same tea, and I will drug her again if needs must.
So that shout was
shoveling
probably.
ice cream in her mouth.
I assume that shout was it was a shout, right?
Oh yeah, no. Only that. Let me know if you need any tea. But like, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So that
at
was
least
that was
spoken loudly.
absolutely heard by anyone in the living room at this point.
When you come back, Morningstar is just into her ice cream, but she's looking at you when you come back, and she says, "Is everything okay?"
Yeah, just letting 404 know I got options if she has trouble sleeping.
You offered her drugs.
I mean,
Unless you're suggesting you we're giving him some chamomile.
I mean, you know what? I think I got some of that in my bag too.
She's stubborn.
Yeah.
You would have an easier time just knocking her out with a balloon.
Oh no, I know. But see, I figured if the choice was between me and going to sleep proper, like, she'd do it on her own terms.
Yes, I hope she keeps to that.
And if she doesn't, I'll keep an eye out. I'll bully her about it in the morning.
Yes. This is a lot. All of this that we are about to do.
Javi picks up his ice cream that has been too long neglected because he was busy with business, just sort of like reclines back in the seat, 1 foot up on a coffee table or whatever. You know, isn't it always?
Yes. Do you think we're going to make it out?
I think if anybody can, we will. And if we can't, it wasn't possible to begin with. So there's nothing to worry about.
Right. Well, tomorrow night we are going to Borsad. I don't know exactly how 404 plans to do this, but I'm not saying go without weapons. I'm saying be careful. It's clearly jumpy, kind of technomancer.
Reasonably so.
Right. But especially with you coming. You know who you are.
You shoot. Blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry, the player can't speak today.
Mm-hmm.
You sure you want to bring me?
It is not a question. You will be there.
All right.
No one is going to be able to see you differently if they do not see you being different.
Yeah.
Right? They will always see you as the Oli Falcon you were, rather than who you are now. So. Plus, with 404 and myself vouching for you, it will probably go a long way.
Here's hoping.
Right? But all of us need to go gently. Let's try not to scare him. Also, do you know if Oscar's wife, do you know how, I guess, advanced she was in her technomancy?
I mean, can't say I know too much about that, but gonna hazard a guess not nearly as good as you.
That is very flattering.
I mean, like, I'm not just, but like, she ain't doing it professionally. She's
fair. The only reason why I ask is because we're gonna need all the help we can get. 404 Virgil and myself can do a lot, but the more technomancers we have, the better. Hence Boar's Head. But if she can help as well,
I mean,
golem way.
I can't speak to her ability one way or the other, but with her activist work, if anybody knows where to find folks, if 404 doesn't have the connections, I bet she would.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's something on the to-do list tomorrow. Maybe I will send a message out to your brother's hacker. We will talk. And then I think, like, Morningstar lets out that kind of very long, tired exhale. And there's like a moment, I think, that she's like feeling around the inside of herself, like mentally kind of grasping. And she knows from what Mojave and Cloudy have told her about the soul stuff, and then with Veruca taking her envy. And I think she's like looking to can she feel that part of her missing? Does that make sense? Like, can she feel a kind of like vacancy within herself? Softy, are you muted?
Yes, I am. I'm very sorry.
Oh no, Softy.
Can you do me a favor?
Yes.
And do the question one more time so I can start that sentence at the right place?
Yes. When Morningstar lets out her deep, tired sigh, she is sort of like reaching around within herself, and can she feel the vacancy of her envy, like the fact that Veruca took a part of her soul, basically. When she's kind of reaching around in there, can she feel that emptiness?
I would say that yes, just because obviously, no matter what it is, a spirit reaching into your essence and pulling out, even if it is not a properly part of your essence, like not lowering the score or anything, but removing a part of your emotional existence is always, there is something missing. But I would almost say that to best describe this feeling is not so much a proper sad, like, emptiness, as much as it's like when one takes like a medicine that their mind needed, and now they're not having a bad reaction where they normally would, where it almost feels helpful. So it is missing. You know it's not there. You know you normally would have it. But there is a part of you that's okay with it.
Yeah. Cool. See, I think that she, despite that kind of just the bone weary tiredness of a Shadowrunner, right? I think that she relaxes a lot more than she has in a very long time, if ever. And I think part of her is kind of like leaning on Liam because he was sitting next to her. And just like eating the ice cream and just like taking the second to appreciate this group of people around her despite her tiredness. But she is too shy to say words out loud. So instead, she sends them all like little secret thank you messages for being her friend. And she probably has it on a timer so that they actually receive the message when she is asleep. She doesn't have to look them in the face. Some habits die hard, so she sends that out, and just timed for a few hours later when she's actually resting. And she's just gonna like vibe with her group of people.
I'm gonna vibe. Is anyone else doing anything other than relaxing and vibing, or?
Probably pulling out a deck of Uno cards, but no.
I'm playing Uno.
Oh dear.
Deck of cards comes out. Mojave sits up.
Yep. Nope. It's just chillaxing card game that we all can kind of do together. But yeah, no.
If there's free time before Jay goes to bed or wakes up or something, he's working on his mech.
Do me a favor and roll. It's actually 3 rolls now, and it is.
So many rolls.
Gonna spend edge.
You want to spend edge for it?
I want it to be good.
Careful how much edge you spend.
But
You'll get it back when you sleep.
Yeah.
So if you want to do it
You
that
get
night.
one of it back when you sleep.
Oh yeah, you get one of it back when you sleep.
okay, let me take one of these away. Because I think last time I spent 2, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah, you slept since you did it. All right, so you can put the edge on whichever one of these you want. I need you to roll hardware.
Okay. Hardware.
Need you to roll armorer.
Okay.
Turn off that edge though. Oop, you did not turn off the edge.
Oh, I'm not allowed to spin more than one edge?
Oh no,
Oh,
you
are
can
you
keep
using
doing it
more
as
of it?
long as you're marking it down.
I am.
So that means 2 edges been spent.
Oh.
I'll keep
Oh,
the
no.
last one.
Okay. And then the last one is, since you're getting towards the end, you're building a lot more of it. You're now reaching in to mess with the actual rigger cocoon. Roll me cyber technology, as this is going to have to interface with your biology specifically.
What? My other rolls were so good.
They also had edge on them and were exploding.
I mean, you can spend that last edge to reroll. Unless someone wants to help you out.
I mean, do you want it? Do you want to just take it?
Well, shit,
Oh,
there's Celis.
Celis.
Oh, well, shit. Re-roll it.
Okay, I'm spinning edge on it.
Oh god, okay. Remember, when you sleep, you're just getting one of these back.
Yeah, it'll take a while to recover.
Jason says, "I want my bot, and I want
Cyber
my
technology?
Yep. That's the one you want to re-roll.
There we go. Okay, no more edge for a while.
Alright.
Thank you, Celisk. You saved the day.
Alright. You have the body of the troll unit completely done.
Yes.
It is almost entirely skinned, so to have the proper skin on it. It is very wonderfully done. The only pieces that are not completely done is the rigger cocoon doesn't have every connection piece it does, and the face is yet to be completely finished, as it takes the most time to get a face that doesn't hit the uncanny valley.
Yeah, for sure.
As this is meant to slide in and pretend to be a person. That is possibly one of the hardest things to do. Unless you want to put a mask.
No, it's gonna look like it's gonna have a face,
Okay.
yeah.
Then yeah, you are, by the time you're done with all of this, you are exhausted, you know you need to sleep,
Yeah.
but you're happy. The whole body structure, it's full height, got all the legs and the things where it needs to be. There's just a little bit more you need to do. And then you'll have your troll unit. So damn good rolls.
Awesome.
All right. And then I assume you're going to go to bed when your body finally takes you down, Jason.
Yes.
So once the Uno game is done, is everyone going to scatter to their sleeping locations?
I'm staying on the couch, but yes.
Obviously, yeah.
Yep.
That's why I said locations and not rooms.
Heading on off
cool.
with my cool pillow dog shark thing.
Yes.
But yes,
Literally always a cold pillow.
yes.
Liam will be up all night, like normal,
Mm-hmm.
just kind of half patrolling the structure and like half just hanging out.
I would have mentioned to Liam, because Liam's got the ability to astral perceive, to just every so often glance over at 404's aura to see if she looks like she's up and about so that we can pester her about it in the morning if she stayed up all night again.
Oh, sure.
Liam, roll me a sensing. It's kind of superfluous. I think you only need a 1 to tell if someone is asleep. But
I also would have checked before I actually go to bed, but Liam's going to be up, so.
yeah, I'll say that 404 is definitely not asleep when you go to bed, Mojave. But yes,
5.
that's 5. Let me go pull that up real quick, because 5 is a lot. And 5 might actually get you something.
Wow.
Oh yeah, bet. Yeah. Well, 5 is actually interesting because it actually tells you if someone is a technomancer. That's actually how high you got to get to see that part of their essence. Oh wow. Okay, so she is asleep. One of the
Yes.
not the first time you check, but eventually you look over. She has fallen asleep,
Yes.
and you
Alright.
notice something as she's asleep. 404's aura is very large relative to her size. It's like most people's auras tend to stick close to their bodies unless you're something like Mojave, where you're an astral beacon and you're a fucking giant pillar of light, basically.
Yeah.
But 404's aura is very large, and it seems to breathe. Kind of out and in at regular intervals, which most auras don't really do that. The colors can shift, but the size rarely moves. And now with a 5, you can definitely tell it's rough. It's not perfect. It's not a hard line outline. But it looks like a dog. It's rough, but it looks like a dog curled up and laying down. Like, that's what her aura appears as.
Okay.
And, one other thing, because Deltaware's in here. There is Deltaware in the back of 404's neck.
All right. Well, Liam's going to keep most of that to himself, but can confirm in the morning that they're asleep.
Yes. That is, that is some stuff Liam has now.
Morningstar would have stayed up to like hang out with Liam and Mojave for as long as possible before it's like she's dozing, and eventually she'll sneak her way to her bed and kind of curl up under her heating lamp. I'm going to, right before sleep takes me, she perceives on the matrix. She is looking at 404. Can she see her on the matrix?
Yes, you can. You know that when technomancers sleep, that is not the same thing as like a reboot. You don't drop out. You just look like you're kind of like
idle.
like it's the away symbol,
Yeah.
So
for sure.
she's still there. it's like the away symbol. There's no active thing running, but I'll just give you're inside of this specific grid. It's not hard to see. There is a sprite that is very bright. Clearly, it is in a major process. So one of 404 sprites, which appears like a bat. Well, kind of like a little bat dog thing, is doing some kind of massive process. Just very glowy.
Yeah.
I will also say, before you fall asleep, there will be the smallest noise at your door. Like metal on wood. As something knocks upon your door.
Her head very lazily comes up, and she half slithers her way with one eye still closed and opens the door.
And down towards the ground, still fairly small, but at this point almost the size of maybe a small dog when fully unfolded, is Midori. And you now can actually see him. He has his 2 body segments. He's much more properly spider-like.
Yes.
And you see that on his back end, there is a glass panel now that has basically something to allow heat to escape, as he has a massive core unit now for power. So that entire back end is a power unit, and you know that something that powerful must be powering an insanely strong CPU.
Yeah. I think she is overjoyed to see them despite her tiredness, and so she picks him up, and she's hugging him, and she shuts the door with her tail, and she says, "Oh my gosh, let me get a look at you," and she will put him down, and then she's like, "Okay, go ahead, do spin," and she will perceive his new form. And just is giving him encouragement and clapping. And she's like, "You look great. I am so proud. I'm so excited to see what you'll be able to do now."
He does his spin. He turns over to you. Let me drink some water first.
Go ahead.
Jesus.
Do you like my new design?
It's perfect. It fits you wonderfully. You look like a real spider now.
I thought it was nice. And the extra space. Here I fucked up.
You're okay.
The extra space makes it so I could be more powerful.
You have always been powerful. And I think I don't think she really has the words for the joy she feels of him just evolving and becoming this new thing. But I think it's very apparent in her form and in the way that she's her scales are lighting up rainbow. I think she spends a little time just listening to him talk about his new form and his new setup. And then when she's like, "I will pass out on my tail if I don't go to sleep right now," she will give him a little kiss on the forehead and say, "We will talk more in the morning. Good night." And then she will slither into her little heated patch.
Yeah.
go to
And
sleep.
as you fall asleep, he comes over to where your head is, sets one small leg, which now has a rubber ender to give him a lot more traction, but he's very gentle with it. He puts it on your head, and I will guard you. And he proceeds to
Yes.
crawl over you, and eventually he settles himself, pulls in all of his legs, and just turns into a little ball. And he just sits facing the doorway.
My heart can't fucking take this. Yeah, no, she's just happy. She doesn't question it or anything. She just, lets herself fall asleep feeling safe.
Anyone else last minute things before the mid-afternoon comes for you all.
Jay is exhausted and sleeping in.
Mm-hmm. That's why I said mid-afternoon. I don't know anyone's getting up that early.
Yeah, Mojave's waking up early in the sense that he wakes up in the time where morning is shifting to noon.
Yeah, same.
Somewhere
If we
in
were-
there, Liam takes his 2-hour nap
Of course.
for the day, and also does his I think it's 5 or 10 minute meditation for become one with nothing. So just make it harder to scry on him, do ritual magic on him at distance. He's been spamming that ever since he found out someone's trying to collect him.
Oh yeah, no. And so at this point, before the other two, actually the other three counting 404, the three of Mojave, Anxiety, and Cloudy, you are all now awake first.
Okay. So, get on up, do normal morning ablutions, shower, teeth. What exactly was the plan tonight? Had we ironed that out?
We were supposed to go touch base with that other technomancer.
Just touch base, talk. That's it. That's it.
think
That's
so.
all.
Tell him what we're doing and make sure he's properly on our side. I think join forces, like legit. It's the impression I got.
All right.
But anyway,
So I don't think we need too much prep work then. All right.
Eventually, Morningstar will slither from her room. She I think she slithers out and her eyes are still closed. You know what I mean? Like I think she's just like slithering her way towards the bathroom to do her morning stuff. And then when she reemerges, she looks a lot more clear-eyed. Yeah, I think she's like in the kitchen and she starts kind of like making stuff to eat. Probably making like a soy protein drink or something like that because she's gonna probably do gym stuff before they leave. But she does stop to say to them, remember, it's not don't bring weapons, but don't look threatening when we go, okay? I can't imagine these years have been easy for him.
Mojave's face is that very particular kind of impassive.
Yeah, I think she's like, there's a look on her face of like, be the doctor, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's very like you are, at this point, you are both of those things, right? You are the guy with the gun, you are Ali Falcone, but you're also a doctor. And so she's like, in this instance, be the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Because she doesn't really know anything about this guy other than that he is like an old ally of 404. And 404 is not the same person that she was back then. So like, who knows what's going on with this guy, right? So yeah, it's very like, just be the doctor.
yeah. Mojave's like the body language is relaxed, the face is impassive, but the kind of relaxed and impassive where it's very clear that he's, being relaxed on purpose. It is an intentionality behind it that doesn't happen if you're just legit relaxed.
Yeah, for sure. And then I think she just kind of slithers over and she like gives a squeeze to Mojave's shoulder before going into the gym for a little bit, and she's gonna start, doing a little training in there.
Hey, Cloudy.
Mm-hmm.
I got a question. It's not important or anything. Just wondering. How'd you end up with the name Cloudy? Cloudburst.
You remember that big old fog cloud I put down, right?
Oh.
When we got into the casino?
Vaguely. It's been, chaotic period of time.
Yep.
So.
Yep. That and dropping in lightning bolts to just eradicate things was, well,
Fair enough.
it's not complicated.
Just wondering,
But yeah, no, that's it. With the tactical squad, just being able to provide cover and explosions.
I mean, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing makes a job a lot easier.
Yeah, no. Well, there was the one story where it started with Cloudy.
Yeah.
There's two meanings to it. The cloud thing, the various spooky storm magic. That and when I was starting off, I was very optimistic, head in the clouds.
Mm-hmm.
Been knocked down a peg or two since.
It happens.
But hey, I'd ask where you got yours, but pretty
Yeah, no.
self-explanatory.
Yeah, I walked out of the Mojave knowing nothing but the fact that I was in the Mojave, so,
Mhm.
Yeah. Just curious.
Look over towards Scales. Did you have a reason for the first one? You introduced yourself as? Mm-hmm.
When I was in the lab, my father, he used to read me stories. Me and all my siblings. But one of his favorite things to do was to pull out old Bibles and tell the story of Lucifer Morningstar. And that it does not mean something negative, as the text will have you believe, that it means light bringer.
Mm-hmm.
So I had chosen Morningstar for that reason. But then it became apparent that they were looking for me again, and I was fearful at the time that they will. Anyone who was at the lab would have heard him call me that, so I became fearful of it, and that's why I asked everyone to call me Scales. Or rather, Mojave picked Scales.
Finger guns.
But
Yeah,
it
I
was
asked if
safer.
we could use it, and I ain't never looked back.
Right. But my real name is Lydia. Yes.
Hmm.
It's a nice name.
Look over towards Oliver. Carlos.
Huh.
Nice to meet you properly.
Wow. You look like a Carlos.
However
It
much
is
I can look
fitting.
like a name, huh?
It's fitting. It is fitting name. It fits you.
Glad to receive your approval.
I didn't think names really mattered much when I first got out, they seemed odd to me. I had been a set of serial numbers for a long time. So names, they didn't make sense. But I noticed they matter to people. They are
Well,
important.
a set of numbers can be a name. It's to help be like, this is me.
Yeah, it's less about the noises and more the memories that come with it.
Though numbers usually aren't the most poetic thing in the world.
Not at all.
And oftentimes don't have great memories.
Well, in the Matrix they do.
Fair enough.
Right. Should I'll go wake her? Pretty sure she's still sleeping. Do you guys know if she slept through the night?
I have
Yeah.
not messed with 404 at all.
She did sleep through the night.
Good.
Good.
Hmm?
Jay's still asleep.
Poor Jay.
She also like weirdly looks like a dog sleeping,
Oh.
like a cuddled up dog.
Hmm. She's married
How
to
does
Fenrir. He has sensed her. Yeah. Our husband is a wolf guy, so like maybe I don't know. I don't know how that shit works, so I don't.
Hey, but no clue.
Her stuff on the Matrix is more like a bat than a dog, so I don't know.
But do we need to get her like some kind of like sleeping rack so she can hang upside down? Is that what you're like?
Jeez.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I
uh,
right about with that
Just
statement.
Considering that image.
You all hear just this gentle, slow clap. Very funny. And 404 seems to have very carefully slipped down the hallway about just to hear the bat comment.
Morning.
Well, I'm not wrong. On the Matrix, you're iconic and it looks like a bat. So
No, you're right. Morning. I need coffee.
right.
and
There
could you
is.
sleep any worse than upside down?
Your head would explode. All
Yeah.
the blood would rush there, and then that would be it. Your brain would go kaput. Be done.
I will say that 404 clearly has showered and changed clothes. And it's kind of now you realize that she's absolutely been wearing a lot of black and may not have really been changing since she's been here, which hasn't been too long. But she looks a lot better now. Last night she
Okay.
looked exhausted. But she
That's
comes
comfort.
out and she is in what can only really be described as like a sports bra and yoga pants.
Hey,
And you can see that almost her entire body, at least the parts that's visible, maybe it doesn't go down as far, but it's absolutely on her feet and it's on her hands, is this thin cyan circuit board design. And they're bioluminescent tattoos, so they glow. And there's this very gentle glow that goes up, and on her left shoulder is clearly a butterfly design that has the circuit board leading into it. On the other side is a bat design. And it looks like the circuit board tattoos go up along her neck and stop right before her face.
cool.
And so, yeah, she walks by everyone, gets herself some soy calf, leans against the counter, holding it. Wait, where's Blue?
Still asleep, probably.
He was working late on his neck.
Oh, yeah. It looks cool.
Mm.
She takes a sip of her coffee.
At this point, a groggy, tired Jay would kind of walk out in like boxers and a t-shirt, wiping the sleep from his eyes. Be like, do we need to go out today, or can we just sleep in?
I hand him a cup of coffee as my response.
He'll keep like wiping his eyes while still sipping the coffee.
We technically don't have to show up at the rendezvous till well, you all. He told me I have to stay back. But it's not until 8 p.m. tonight.
You
He wants you to stay back?
Yeah.
Why?
That's... How do I put this one? It's a sign of respect. Well, among us, he's gotten a lot stronger than I gave him credit for. I'm impressed. But when two of us who basically, you know what, I'm gonna use something a little bit cheap. Let's go with high level master. Doesn't really matter which word I use. Technomancers are in the same place. There's a bit of... You gotta kind of ask parlay, basically, if you can go into their territory. Because we can't just turn it off unless we go completely dark. We're always going to end up in someone else's grid if we go in. And sometimes getting into someone else's grid is kind of seen unfair.
So
He also-
doesn't want you specifically to cross into his grid.
Yeah, because he wants to see you.
Okay, but I thought like you were gonna come with me and vouch for the stuff. Okay.
I have already spoken to him, and turns out I don't. Apparently, he said he didn't need to vouch for you. He says he just wants to meet all of you in person. I don't know. He's acting a little weird, but at least back in the day, he was pretty harmless, as far as I can remember.
Well, a lot's happened since then, don't you think?
Yeah.
Is Mojave safe if he comes?
He should be. I told him
He'll
not
be
to do
fine.
anything.
Okay. I guess we will deal with it when we get there. Are you going to stay here, or are you at least going to drive up there with us?
I actually have something else I gotta go do.
Okay.
But before either one of us leaves, you and me. It's like she pauses for a minute, like she was gonna say something. Kind of has to backtrack in her head. Scales.
Oh, they know now. I told them. My
Yeah, but
real name.
that's the one you want, right?
Yes, it's safer.
Not a bad habit to keep one way or the other, since things are hot right now.
Yeah. You and I have to discuss. And honestly, it shouldn't take me that long.
Yeah.
But we have to discuss how this security system works because I fucked up.
It's fine. You are exhausted. There's a lot going on, especially back home. So I get it. Oh, above table. Did we tell 404 about the T clones?
She was in the room.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. Okay, yeah. She so Morningstar nods and is like, okay, lead the way.
Okay. Honestly, just sit down on the couch with me. We're just gonna go
Alright.
in.
Oh. Okay. She like, it's nervous energy, but in the way of like excitement. You know, she
Oh, yeah.
getting to submerge and stuff is fun for her.
Yeah.
At least for now.
404
Oh.
sits in one of the beanbag chairs that exists next to the TV.
Yeah, Morningstar curls on the part of the couch that's specifically made for her, for her body. So she, coils up, relaxes. and closes her
404 conks out.
eyes. As does Scales. She slips away.
When you appear on the Matrix, you are inside of the grid, the specific grid for the hideout. Which, Nada, you've been in this grid the whole time you've been here.
Mhm.
When 404 pops in, her avatar appears a little different.
Mm.
It's a lot more bat-like. She clearly has changed it recently to be a lot more animalistic than her previous one, which was almost kind of Aztec-inspired, kind of deity-looking. But she's much more low profile in this appearance. So she sort of sits there and goes, "Okay, so this is not a normal security system. This is a security system built around our people. It's built on resonance, which isn't normal.
Oh,
It makes it extremely difficult to hack into. The problem is, and this is on me, not on you, I didn't tell you how to put the wall in front of yourself. When I heard what happened with the data bomb,
yeah.
that's because you were in front of the wall
Amazing.
instead of the other way around.
Right. Cool. It is what it is. It happened. I'm learning the stuff now.
Yeah. And she basically goes into, because this is a slightly longer process, but obviously happening at the speed of thought. And it's
Yes.
not easily described as much as literally touch icon, and she literally shows you the wiring of how to do it. And it's a lot more simple. It's very intuitive once someone shows you. But you can
Yeah.
see how there was no way you were going to figure this out. This is nothing like anything you were trained on.
Right. I mean, who? Nobody told me anything. I came here blind. So yeah, I think Morningstar is learning, this whole thing, drinking in all that knowledge and mimicking the movements that she's taught, and just. I think it's really just a moment of her like truly being a student of 404s. And so she, every single word she drinks in. So.
Yeah, and while you're both doing this, she also shows you how to do a full systems check, which actually causes a full integration. You will have to be in VR to do these, but it allows you to almost feel the system like a body, and when something is wrong, you feel that sensation in your brain like in the pain center.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to identify hidden malware, trojans, things like that. And 404 is basically explaining this. And while you're connected in and she's describing this to you, you're feeling it out, and then you feel it activate a little bit. Something's wrong. And you follow your mind, let it go to where it is, and you find a section of broken code. Like leftover data. Like a file was there, got deleted, and now there's kind of just this gunk left over that after a minute, it's the kind of stuff in your recycle bin that would have been saved over, but it's there.
Right.
And it has a separate resonance. And you look at it, and you realize that there used to be something here.
Okay.
And 404 sees it and goes, "Oh, fuck, that was a worm.
What?
There was a data worm in the system. When you went down, it took the system down with it. It just killed the worm and rebooted everything."
Okay. Oh my god. And she will essentially pull out that sort of gunk data, and is going to kind of rearrange it if she can. What she's trying to basically find out is like, obviously when I shut everything down, it killed it, but did it get information out? That is what she's concerned about. So
It going through kind of like piecing together this worm, it's clearly built not as a program. It has clearly built as a sprite, but it appears to be a worm. And 404 describes this to you. It is a program that some technomancers use. It's rare, but it existed. It's a sprite. It's a new one called an Ouroboros sprite. And what it does is when it gets into a system and gets the data, forces it out, if anything bad happens, a system purge, bad data, corruption, an attack from an ICE program, the worm is built to devour and destroy its own data, wiping it from a system, leaving nothing but a hole in its place. It is an extremely high-level sprite. Like, this takes skill. There's no way, even looking at this, you're not even sure if you could make one. That's how far along you would need to be in abilities to create this, let alone register something this strong.
is this something 404 could create? Like, I'm gauging power right now. Not that she did it, but just
404,
ability.
absolutely 404 could have made it.
Okay. So someone of her level.
Or very close to.
Yeah. I am like looking between this, gunk data and her, fully realizing what it is and being like, how long has this been here?
404 looks at it. The system was down before you came here. And when you turned everything off, it would have killed it. So anything that happened in between that time that allowed something in.
I don't have the ability to protect this place if things like this can just crawl in here.
It's not. No, listen. It's not your fault. This can only be stopped by the wall of the system. But I didn't tell you how to put the wall up. Now that the wall is up, trust me, you could stop this. With the wall up, it makes the firewall psychotically high. That's what this system is built on. Raw resonance power forcing a wire fall. What?
Yeah, look, my concern is no longer... Look, I'm glad that I know how to do this firewall thing now. That's great. My concern is we were here for, however many days. All kinds of information discovered and passed along. I was doing all kinds of research.
I know. That's... Fuck.
That's how... Is that how Bloody Mary knows that I'm here?
There's no telling how Sandra knows anything.
It would be easier to flood the streets with gasoline and set the whole city on fire. There is this... As she says that, there's this expression that comes over her face, and it's this really heavy darkness that comes over her. It's not like an out of control rage and impulse. It is just a deep heaviness that falls over her as she's this thing was in here for who knows how long, doing who knows what, right? And there was no way that I would have been able to identify it or stop it, or my friends were left vulnerable because I didn't know this thing was here. And so yeah, so she's like, I could just wipe the city off the map. And then it wouldn't matter, you know?
Just destroy it all.
Yeah, just purge it like you would any other system. Just purge it, and then it won't be a problem.
I
But
have
she
a question of where is this conversation taking place, and was that said out loud?
No,
Oh,
this
no,
is
it's in the
all on the
Matrix.
Matrix.
Okay, just
yeah,
making
yeah,
sure.
we're
Sadly,
deep conked out.
no one
Y'all
else
just
knows
see
this is
two-
happening.
Yeah, you
Yeah, they're
just
just
see two limp
conked out of
bodies on the
sleep.
couch.
I will say that this is not taking a long time. This is like real world time. By the time they wake up, maybe 10 minutes will have passed. Like, the Matrix time is very fast.
Yeah. So she just looks at 404 like in that way that is just like as she like takes a deep breath and kind of that darkness lifts, she just like looks at her like helpless. She's like, what am I supposed to do if I don't know all these things? I can't protect them. I can't protect myself. What am I doing here? I need help for and I need people to stop. I don't need to be treated like a child. I need you to see me as equal and then help me. Because who knows what that thing got, what it could have gotten. We were vulnerable for however many days. And I didn't have a clue because you told me it was safe.
There's, obviously, icons don't always show the emotions of what's going on.
Right.
404 is quiet for a long time. Her icon just staring down at the missing data points and the broken code here. And she turns to you and very solemnly, You're right. You're right. I should have been here. I should have fixed this.
You should have trusted me to be able to fix it. You should have trusted me with all the information. That's what you should have done. I mean, look, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. But I can't do my job if I don't know everything that needs to be done in order to do it. Do you know the reason that Jay is making that ridiculous mech? He got shot in the back. He almost died. And now he is so terrified to be in his own skin, he would rather walk around as a 10-foot robot troll.
Well,
Which is really super fucking cool tech and all of that, but that's... Jay is a person with so much light and believes in heroes. And that's being taken away because of the nature of what we do.
if he wants to be a Shadowrunner, it kind of has to be.
That's what we said to him. He's, in a funny way, very stubborn about heroes and such things. But my point is this, right? This thing we do, it takes a lot out of everyone. But we all have a job and a thing that we do to make the team work and be safe. Don't keep important information like this from me, please. If there are things that you know that could put them in danger, I need to know because it is my job. At least when it comes to this stuff, this shit, that's my job. to protect them from this. And she kind of like gestures to the, the former Ouroboros. Help me, please.
There is not a lot. There's not a lot that I could actually do. That's the truth of it. I'm busy. But not just, oh, I'm busy or too busy. You were there, kiddo. You have to know what I have to do. You have to know what I do every single day. Truth is, the mistake I made was trying to be a teacher. I should have assigned someone. I should have had someone be with you constantly. Teach you things. I should have known that I didn't have the time to do it. I am sorry you got in this situation. I'm sorry you couldn't do your job.
The past is past. Nothing we can do about that now. But if we move forward, no more secrets and thinking we can do all the things by ourselves when I have learned you cannot. I also very stubbornly thought I can do all the things by myself, but you can't. You have to have a team. Do you not trust me, 404?
I don't trust anyone, kiddo. Not anymore. It's not you specific. Trust me. Ironic. For now, you need to go meet Boar's Head.
Yes.
I'm gonna set up something automatic. I'm gonna get one of my combat sprites in here. You know how to run the system, but the combat sprite will patrol it. Make it a lot harder.
Thank you.
By the way, less than a week. The data's been there less than a week.
Oh,
You can tell here. Look at where it is. You can look
And
at
she
the
does, she'll-
yeah. And
Yeah.
404 shows you the diagnostic reading, and you can see it's so subtle, you have to like look at it. There is the smallest little blip in CPU usage. About maybe a week ago, maybe not. It's about that. And you see that CPU usage, and you're trying to remember back and do a memory test to try to see if you can properly, because you're in a lot of emotions right now. So I want to see if you can cut through that and put some stuff
Yeah.
together.
it's a 5. All those dice, and for what? But yes,
Oh,
it's a 5.
five was plenty.
Oh, good.
It was the night you got hit. It was the night that data bomb went off.
So, is it fair to say that this came from Borsad?
Possibly. The resonance has been destroyed by the way the Ouroboros
Right.
worm works, but it did seem
Okay.
seemingly it coincided, or at least was right after the data bomb.
Okay. I think in Morningstar's mind, she's like, that's so fucking rude. Like, you won't even let 444 into your grid because whatever respect between Technomasters, you put a whole fucking bomb in my house and a self-eating snake. Great. That feels so good, bud. You know, like she's like, that's so rude. But she doesn't say any of that out loud. She just nods, learns the things she needs to learn. And then when 404 is ready, she'll allow herself to slowly slip from VR back into her body.
Jay would also. I'm sure all that happened in a fraction of the time it would take Jay, but Jay's gonna get around after he touches base with everyone. He's gonna get around to showering and getting dressed. It's gonna be a
Oh, yeah.
late morning, evening start.
It's
Yeah.
it's gonna be late evening, as it was about mid morning when everyone started to wake up,
Mhm.
or
We
mid
started to
evening.
be
Pardon.
conscious. Yeah. We were pretty late into the afternoon when
Oh,
we
yeah.
all started to get functional.
So when you come out of it, 404 will follow you, and everyone will be able to notice that she's not. There's no hiding it. There's no masking it. She just has a very dark look on her face.
Oh boy. You alright?
Everything good?
There
Fine.
was an issue, but I've learned the system better now, so we will be good.
Oh, what was the issue?
So when the weird data bomb from that site hit me, it
Yeah.
left behind some resonance called the Ouroboros, and it was here with us for about a week. And when I shut everything down the other night, it destroyed it. So, but now that I know what the thing is, I understand and am more entwined with the system of this home. That will not be a problem in the future.
Great. Okay, great.
Yeah, so we're good. Everything's good now. Um, we are going to go
okay.
to Borset, go visit, go talk, see if maybe we make ally. I don't know how jumpy he will be. I've already told the others that maybe we go in like real soft and nice and not scary, you know, not with like aggressive vibes, just in case he's jumpy. 404 won't be accompanying us, so you know
Right.
it'll be just us.
So I think Liam's made himself some sort of like breakfast drink, like post workout,
Yeah,
right?
protein.
Yeah. Go
A
ahead.
Virgin Mimosa.
No,
That's
not quite.
you.
That's
That's
not-
you.
Screwdriver.
That's a breakfast drink.
It's got more than what's with plants grave. But he is gonna walk over to 404. And well, he's gonna pour like what was supposed to be like his second helping into like another glass and offer it to her. And in Spetherial, kind of lean in and be like, "Hey, if we're all good, why do you look so unhappy?"
She is paused and responds back. Because I have made some errors, and then I gotta fix them.
Like a lot of errors.
And she looks you in the eyes. Yes. And she immediately starts walking away. And she's very quickly walking around towards her room. Like nothing else. Not even looking at anybody else after that statement.
Okay, putting the glass down and following.
Um,
Liam
Morningstar
actually
breaks
kind of
out.
looks. I don't think you guys have ever seen Liam look. He actually like looks a little mad. Like Liam's mad.
oh shit! I think she Morningstar has her coffee and her eyebrows. If she had hair, would disappear into her hair. It's just her scales get a little like shimmery, and she's like, "Oh, he's mad for real." She's like, "I don't know what just happened," but you can see it on her face that she's like in shock to see him angry.
Yeah, he's not stopping her at all because he assumes she's doing something important right now. But he is following, and still in Spetherial. Okay, can I actually count on you for Layla then?
404 actually stops at that. And Spetherial, continuing this, she'll be fine. It's not
Like, I'll
technically...
think- Well, you're sure?
Yes.
Because it sounds like you were sure about a lot of things until recently. Please,
know.
if you think maybe it is not that way, tell me right now.
She's fine. She's fine. No one is getting hurt. No one is getting taken.
I can't understand this fucking elf language. God damn it.
There is only one other person who can tell what they're saying.
Yeah, he nods his head slowly.
Just gonna fucking drink
There's
coffee and be sassy.
A lot of apprehension. Please, if that changes, even slightly, let me know.
If it changes, you will be the first one to know. Nothing in LA is a problem. At least, definitely not at UCLA.
Puts his hands up, takes a step back, and lets her go.
And she continues to walk off. And I assume, obviously you guys can have conversation, but she will not reappear until you are all set to leave. So if you're going to have conversations after that, you can.
Yeah, I think Morningstar like waits until she hears 404's like door shut, and she'll go to Liam and be like, "What happened?"
Yeah, I mean, Liam goes right back to the table and picks up that second breakfast drink and just slams it. You know, just
Even
absolutely
like seeing
drinks
him
it,
angry,
yeah.
seeing him angry, and then seeing him inhale this drink, she immediately is like, "Okay, what's going on?"
There's the vibe. Mojave is slumped back on the couch, body language almost resembling the way he moved before he got his memories back, hat over his eyes. But astrally, he is just, keeping half an eye out, just watching.
What did you say?
I just needed to check on something. So basically, she is taking care of my sister for me because, again, non-zero chance my sister is on some sort of list. Our people are literally disappearing in horrible ways. And she doesn't seem overly confident right now about some things. The only reason I am here right now and not in LA is because she told me she had it. And if she's mid-wash out right now, if she's fading away, I need to fucking know. But she says she has it. For now.
I need your permission to check something. Say yes.
Okay, what is it though?
Yeah,
there it is. There it is.
Just say yes. Okay. What is it that I actually want to do? Okay. So okay, she says. So two things happen. Out loud, she says to you, I'm just going to check. I would check Layla's communication devices for like her emails and things like that, and just do a brief scan and make sure she's not been told to meet in somewhere shady or anything like that. Just a very quick glimpse of what her days are looking like. An extra set of eyes. That's all. But the other thing that happens is she sends. This is very dangerous. She sends a text message to Liam, and says that she is going to get in touch with some technomancers that are in LA.
I am not going to be able to give you permission to go through another person's personal emails. But what I would like you to do, please.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, she is under surveillance by people handpicked by 404. Could you stress test that?
Yes, I can. And so
And if
she
you
is.
can get in
Mm.
and do some shit to my sister's things and no one fucking notices you,
Mm.
let me know.
Okay. There's like a little part of her that realizes that like she doesn't know where she stacks as far as like 404's people. You know, like she's like her newest student, but she doesn't know if she's like better or worse than any other technomancers that she has. But I think it occurs to her that like if she can get through, like Liam's gonna go. Like he's gonna leave, right, to go and be with his sister, which he should. And normally, where she would feel the need to like control those things, she doesn't feel that need at all. And it is like almost makes her like work better in the fact that she doesn't have that envy, that weird like shit kind of weighing on her. And so she is going to do exactly as Liam suggested, to stress test all the things that is in his sister's possession in order to, that should bring a ping up from 404's people.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you would like me to roll.
Dog, if Liam's sister is being treated like a milk run right now, and like you just slide in and no one knows nothing,
it's not great.
Yeah,
it's not looking good.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, so you want to head out to
Basically,
Matrix-wise.
yes. Basically, I am, and I don't know what you would want me to roll for this, but like as covert as possible, she is stress testing, even if it's a matter of like manipulating her own like sprites to look like something else, and send it towards Leia's her name, right? Or Layla's her name. Send it towards her stuff in order to see like, does 404's people pick it up? Like, are they actually monitoring her, or has 404 like not gotten to that yet? You know, she's trying to see like she's probing the protections right now.
Yeah. Very much. Liam is like, try your hardest to get in, and if nobody fucking notices.
Yeah.
Please, I'm begging you.
The like full power for you would be a hacking roll in full VR.
Okay, so she I mean she's in a chair, right? Or is in like a thing that could support her weight.
Yeah, you were on the couch. So you can just basically sit back down.
Okay, wonderful. So she'll coil up on the couch, and she goes, "Okay, I will be right back." And she conks out again. Yeah, and proceeds. So I will. Oh, no, thank you, bud. Yeah, I will do hacking. Do I add anything to it because I'm in VR, or is it just straight hacking?
Just roll straight hacking. I'm basically in the background, adding things for distance, and then full VR. I'm minusing. So
okay, well, you know what? This is for Liam, so, and his sister's protection. So I'm gonna use Edge.
Okay.
Okay, it's only a 5. Oh wait, I'm so sorry. I didn't toggle the thing on. Can I re-roll that?
You may re-roll because you did spend it and you did not do the toggle. So
yeah, unfortunately, I fucking forgot the little toggle part. Okay, here we go. Okay, not much better, but it is a 6. So
that's still pretty decent.
Okay, cool.
VR. So assistance. All right. So 2 things you will notice. One, getting out of Vegas. There's a lot more noise than you were expecting. LA and Vegas are not that far away from each other realistically, especially Matrix-wise. So this is a lot more noise than you remember. There's something that's messing with the Matrix grid. But you are able to get out, and you are able to... You're going to reach into basically the UCLA servers, break that firewall, and you're going to head towards basically students. You're basically trying to go through the most logical backdoor that you could think of that someone who wanted to get to her would, which is go through
Yep.
the school servers, break in, and get to students, and then get to her.
Mm-hmm.
You get about as far as into the school server
Mm.
before your marks are ripped to pieces.
Mm.
Like,
Okay.
gone in seconds.
Okay. I want to try one final thing.
Yes.
And it's going to be a little weird, Softy.
Mhm.
So I approached that first attempt the way pretty much any technomancer would just going straight for information, logical, rational pathway, right? I'm going to approach this like how Morningstar, created by Aztechnology, would approach this. So the data collection of like sort of how I did with Evangeline, where I
Mhm.
basically like backward stalked her through all of her social medias and was able to find her.
Okay.
And if you'll allow me, if I could see how close I can get via using one of Layla's friends. Does that make sense?
Yeah, go to her page, find her one of her friends, and basically pull a sideways using friend dorm to get to her.
Yeah, to get to her rather than the school servers.
Sure. Honestly, that's another hacking roll.
Same roll? Okay. I will spend another edge.
Are you sure?
I'm not, but like also you know what? You're right. Let me not fucking act crazy right now. Let me not be super scary. Okay, it's a 4.
This has a lot less security because it's a damn social media account. 2-factor authentication does absolutely nothing other than a
Mhm.
gentle alert. Yeah, no, this is easy to break into. So you could break into basically her account, do normal hacker shit, send messages, try to get links, whatever.
Mhm.
You get in, and you get into the friend's account.
Mm.
And you try to pull I'm gonna slide a little message with a hyperlink, try to get that kind of trick of, hey, click on this and I can slide into your account secretly.
Mhm.
Sunglasses on sale.
Sunglasses on sale. You
That's
post.
social engineering.
There you go. Oh my god. You post it in the messages, and the message is wiped,
Mm.
and you will get a message to you,
Mhm.
completely encrypted,
Mhm.
but you recognize it as 404's hacker group. You were taught these encryptions back then, so it's easy for you to break them down. And it's from one of them going, "Yo, Snake, what the fuck?"
Sorry, doing her big brother a favor. Just had to make sure you guys were actually watching.
Okay. Was that you before too?
Yep.
All right. If you want info, just tell us.
Yeah, listen. Keep her safe. You don't want to meet her older brother.
Oh, yeah. No, we got this.
Cool.
We got this, and you get it's an image file, but it's behind like 2 separate things, so you have to take it in, completely save it, and break it down,
Yes.
and you realize it's on a timer, like an image share timer, and you know this thing's gonna get deleted in less than a couple minutes. But you get it out, and you have a photo of what appears to be Liam's sister, and she is walking to class alongside a young man you recognize. It is, though he is very clearly wearing something that's covering up most of his modifications, is Wonderland.
Okay. He's one of her people.
It is her adopted son.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I send them a little encrypted smiling snake back and a wink, and then I disappear.
You say smiling snake, and all I can think of is the gif of that green tree boa yawning.
Yeah. Yep. I was thinking more like the cartoon Jungle Book snake when it smiles, you know. But yeah, yes, and then she'll pull out, and she looks at Liam and says, "She's safe, both Matrix wise, but also physically. For son is with her."
Has a seat, and he looks like visibly relieved.
Yeah, she very briefly and quickly explains sort of the breakdown of what happened. That like she tried both the school and like friend stuff. She like hacked into other people's things to see if she could get to her, and they were there to delete it. So
All right.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's good, you know?
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
All right. I feel like I can focus again.
Yeah, no, I get it. Look for
Yeah, I have nothing against 404. I really don't. I trusted her immediately until she
she wavered.
made mistakes, plural. So I was, but
She said mistakes.
well, errors. You know, she's misjudged
Huh.
some things. It sounds like, and I just wanted to make sure my sister was not one of them.
Mm.
That's it.
Well, 2 errors have been fixed today then. Morningstar gets up, and there's this like little thing in the back of Morningstar's head where she's like, "What else did you fuck up?" You know? Like, I told you to tell me if shit's bad and you didn't.
Hopefully, not more than 2.
Yeah, I think
Exist.
beneath, slightly muffled by the hat that is still pulled over his face, there's just the, we don't know how many plates she's keeping in the air right now.
Morningstar. I think the only people who can see her face right now, because she's not looking at Mojave, is maybe Liam, but definitely Cloudy. And is Jay still with us in the kitchen? Yeah, so then Jay, and you would see that rather than her eyes narrowing, her pupils turn to slits because she's like, that's conspiratorial talk. Wait a minute. You know, she's like, something's not right. Her eyes don't go back to normal. They remain those slits, those like snake-like slits for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, I
But
think
yeah.
Mojave even continue like, I mean, she's back in Vegas for the first time since Horizon did what it did. Got people in LA she's trying to manage. Doesn't seem like she's somebody who's good at delegating. We have our job that's in front of us. She's trying to micromanage us and who knows what else.
Morningstar's like, I specifically said not to do that to me. But so she just nods, doesn't say anything. She will go into her room to change her attire so that she's not just a naked snake rolling around the streets. So puts on some clothes in her armored jacket.
See, this is why it's so good to have friends, because then you don't have to do everything yourself. You can have friends to help.
Yeah. I agree with that, I think.
The puddle on the couch that is Mojave, one hand lifts and just sort of like points in agreement at Jay.
Her tail will like wave in acknowledgement because she's like half in, half out of her room. Yeah. I think I will look to Madari and say, you can come with us or you can stay here with 404. I think 404 is going, actually. You could stay here with Virgil if you want. Your choice.
Midori kind of he's kind of been sitting up on like the edge of the couch, like Small Dog would. And he pauses, and he turns his body towards the other hallway that the room that Virgil is staying in is. And all of you realize that Virgil's not come out of his room by this point. And Midori, like, it's like he's... The best way to put it is you kind of see the light on the front of him, like this screen with the two little lights. It kind of flashes a couple times, as if he's putting something out. And then he nods, moves over. I will watch the child.
You're the best. And she will give him a little kiss on the forehead.
And he will hop from the couch and go skittering off towards Virgil's room.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if we're ready to fucking dip, then, you know, she will start making her way towards the amphibious.
Yeah. Everyone gonna get in? Is Liam getting on his bike?
Oh yeah, you know, any excuse to ride that bad boy.
So you all will get in the Amphibious, get on the bike, get yourselves ready to go. When you are outside, that is about the time that 404 will exit the home. And you'll see her, like, as you're all, like, Liam, you're gonna on your bike, so you're gonna be right next to her. There is another motorcycle in front of the house. It is very clearly very custom. The best way to put it is it looks black, but the minute light hits it, it's like a shimmery purple. It has a lot of parts on the front of it that look a little odd. It's the best way to put it. This is super custom, and you do not know what that stuff is made for. 404 comes out of the house, and she is in what can only be described as runner gear. She has a full leather armored jacket on that is pulled up, leathers on all parts of her body, high boots. She is built on her hip is an Ares Predator 5. And on the other side, kept in a metallic sheath, is what appears to be some form of short sword. Given the kind of square hilt and the very thin thing that doesn't seem like it would have enough room for a blade, you realize this might be a mono sword, which is this mono wire pulled between 2 points that can basically cut through anything. A very expensive item.
But I've seen this kind of thing at the lab, like
a mono sword?
As far as like as technology fucking
just like mono wire?
Yeah, like would I have seen something like this before?
Yeah, mono wire is used in a couple things. It really is just made to cut, but there are actually mono wire scalpels that exist. There are different medical equipments that sometimes use mono wire because it's a very clean, very smooth cut. It's even cleaner than a razor.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. Okay.
Yeah, and 404 comes out. She gets on her motorcycle, and she touches the side of this high collar on her jacket that seems very stiff. Like, it was very clear, very, very stiff, but as she touches the side of it, it completely expands into a motorcycle helmet.
Oh, cool.
It completely covers her face, and her face mask has, like, the paintings on it where just a certain portion of the mask is still clear, and it is very clearly reminiscent of 404's unit's tags, where it's this Aztec-styled mask with bright colors and circuitry. Okay. And she looks over to you all, nods, and she revs and backs out.
Fucking show off. I get in the car. She doesn't say that with any real malice. She's just,
of course. Yeah, and she drives off into the night, leaving you all to your job. And as she leaves Morningstar, you're going to get a small message and it's just an address.
She sends back a small message that says, "Call if you need help." Like, it's very, if an emergency happens, reach out. You know?
You will get back. Same to you.
Cool. Yeah. With that, she will give the address to Jay, just sending it through the system of the car so that it appears in front of him on his stuff when he goes to drive.
All right. It is about 7. I'm gonna say 7:30 at night when you guys leave. The place is only 25 minutes away, and you know your meeting's at like 8. So you just want to make sure,
Yeah.
you'll head out. You're only in traffic for a couple moments because eventually you will turn off towards Paradise. Actually, I think that's switched. I believe. No, yeah, I believe it's Paradise City, which is it's Las Vegas, but it's residential. It's not the Strip. It's not big giant hotels and big businesses. It's a lot of apartment buildings by this point. It's been very much built out since the old days, but a lot of apartments, a lot of broken down things. This is not a tourist area. The address you will eventually come to is a small shop smushed in between two large buildings. One is a active apartment building with lights in the windows. The other is clearly much more decrepit, possibly abandoned. There's definitely some blown out windows, but it does appear like up at the very top there are some lights on, but it's probably shouldn't be allowed to be open. It does not look up to code.
I am going to not when we're right in front of it, right? Like kind of when we're a little still farther back. But I know it's coming up. I'm gonna sort of blink my eyes into the matrix, right? And I'm just going to sort of like digitally knock on the door to be like, "Hey, it's me. Me and my friends are here. Is it cool if we park and come in?" You know, like very before we even get to the building. But it's like, visibly we could still see it.
You send out this digital knockup, and I to finish the entire description, matrix wise, this building is unassuming. It has a host, but it's just the building's host, or at least it appears to be from outside. And you can knock in, which is basically a gentle request for entry. It is very much password protected, but it's a gentle request for entry without trying to force it.
Yeah.
And you will get a message back from an unknown number. And it's just come in the front.
Okay. Yeah, I'll tell Jay, we can park, and once he does, begin to head out towards the front door.
I feel like I would not be doing my job if I did not ask, what does this place look like in the astral?
Blank.
Like blank, like there's nothing there, or like blank, like something came and scrubbed it?
I'd say there's nothing really there. It's, I'll put it this way. The rest of Vegas is either lively or built up from years and years of just stuff and people and emotions. Out here, there just doesn't seem to be a lot. Maybe this general melancholy that exists from just this
so
environment.
normal ambiance blank and not like sketchy, this is a dead zone blank.
Yeah, no, this isn't a dead zone. It's just ambiance blank, and I mean, there's a couple souls up there in the damn apartment complex, but
Okay.
they're not
Just like
bright.
you say blank, and I just think of the biodome, how that place was blank, and there's that moment of
Sure,
not
sure.
like that, right? But yeah, no.
Roll me a
In that case-
sensing, because there is something important if you get high enough.
Okie doke.
And any of the mages can roll this if they'd like to try to see it.
Yeah, no, Mojave's aura in the astral right now is a thin shell of calm and then just a roiling cloud of stress.
Yeah, I'll give that inside the small building, that's the address. Which, by the way, the front of it says Schumacher Delicatessen. As far as you can see, Mojave, there's like maybe only 2 people in there at most. Maybe like a third person, but it's weirdly light. Like that third person just seems very faded. They're moving. Maybe they have a lot of cyber, you assume.
Yeah, this is just sort of like mumbled to the group, not, just making sure everybody's in the loop. Doing my job as the astral lookout.
And are either of the other 2 mages going to roll sensing?
Or
I'll give it a shot.
Anxiety, you get about the same thing.
see whether I can get any better. I do not. All right.
No, all of you get the same thing. General melancholy. There's only a couple, maybe 3 people in there. One is very clearly heavily cybered because it's such a light essence, but it's clearly human, or at least it's meta-human. And all individuals seem healthy. One of them, who seems to be the brightest, I guess the least cybered, maybe, they clearly have what would it be medically, I suppose, low blood oxygen level.
Okay.
Actually, wait, hold on. I might have done that back. High blood oxygen level. I'm sorry. I forgot how that medical
Gotcha.
thing works.
Gotcha. It's all good.
Yes, high blood oxygen level. But no, yes, you are sat in front of a place that appears to be built like an old-style deli. It has 2 large windows in the front. You can't really see inside, as they're actually what appear to be frosted. There's 2 shapes moving in there. And I will give that the mages know this easily. Of the 2 shapes that are moving inside the windows, only one of them has an essence. Only one of them appears with an aura. The other 2 metahuman auras that you see, which are not mages at all, they're just regular, they're in the back of the building.
Tech people do as tech people do.
Are those androids? Robots? What
You're not sure. Whatever. One of them is very gently like sitting behind, like, one is tall, clearly humanoid in the light coming out of the frosted glass. The other one is definitely low to the ground, and it's kind of, you see like a movement of from down to up, kind of like someone maybe grabbing something on the ground and putting something up. But whatever that is, does not show up astrally.
Morningstar is gonna be moving forward with confidence and, very much like kind of how you approach dogs, that you kind of have your palm out for them to sniff. Like, she's trying to keep herself as open physically as possible to not be threatening as she makes her way towards the front door.
Yeah, Mojave is keeping in the back of the group this time and seems to almost be like fighting himself on whether or not he is doing the old Mojave stumble or not. Like both aspects of his presentation are currently trying to exist simultaneously, and that's not as easy in meat space as it is in the astral.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, when I get to the door, I guess I knock or whatever,
It's one of those doors that's like clearly it's a shop door, so it has like it's just a pull or push, but you're gonna knock on it.
Unless I see someone through the window and I can kind of
Oh yeah,
wave
you can see
before
there's
I walk in.
There's like two shapes in there.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll give a little wave and then I will open the door.
I will definitely say the wave is absolutely not visible. This is frosted glass, and it's
I
dark
wish you would've told me
outside. I thought
That's fine.
fair
That's fine.
enough.
That's fine. I thought it was just like that's my bad. But yeah, I fucking I'll peek in.
No.
Hey. Yeah.
But no.
Make
Is everyone gonna follow suit walking in? Is anyone gonna hold back or order whatever have you?
Did we refer to like
I mean,
spooking him or something?
This person wants to meet all of us, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's meet all of
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah, then head on in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mojave's going in last, and he is leaving his bag in the Amphibious. No
Fair
guns on his person, because of all the people to...
Yeah.
All the people who should not have a gun right now.
Yeah, maybe Oliver Falcon shouldn't go into the Technomancer's house with a gun. Yeah, once we're inside, fully, Morningstar is kind of just looking around, waiting for Boar's Head to make themselves known.
Yep. And as all of you make your way into the delicatessen, the deli, because I like the word delicatessen.
Yes.
Before I go into its description, we are actually going to take a break because it is time for a break.
Word. Hell yeah.
All right, everybody, and we are back. Camera error. I fixed it. We're back from our little break. As we left off, we are restarting immediately there. Everyone is walking into the Schumacher Deli. As you walk in, the place is lit by yellowed fluorescent lighting. It's a small shop. It's completely dominated by a massive counter on the right side, closest to the door. It's full of various cuts of meats and sausages. There is a massive sign behind on the wall, over top of a large slicer, that says, "All meat is soy substitute." And then below it, "We are sorry." A blonde woman mans the counter. When you walk in, she's filing her nails in front of, obviously, a much more modern version of a register. She's fairly average height, very pretty. But from her neck down to her, I say collarbone area because I don't know how many people actually know the word décolletage. But from her top of her neck down to her collarbone area is all chrome. It's faded a little bit. It's not been polished, but it's all mechanical. And there's clearly some more mechanics elsewhere. There's lines on her face, and there's absolutely metal that creeps up the back of her neck, almost into her skull. She doesn't immediately notice you. The rest of the shop, there's 3 shelves, various snacks and breads and sweets, all of them with German packaging. So also, there's a lot of German words everywhere here. So this is very clearly a German deli. The moving thing that you all had seen from the outside is actually a quadrupedal drone that is busying itself by stocking shelves. Rather slowly, as it's seemingly obsessive in getting all of the products exactly aligned. When it puts a product, it very much micro moves it so it's perfectly aligned. You walk in the door, the drone actually pauses, and the best way to describe this drone is the Boston Robotics dog, but the top part has 2 manipulators instead of 1 hand. And it basically turns like the manipulators towards you all as if they were a head. The woman turns over, kind of like putting her file down, goes, "Oh, welcome to the Schumacher Deli. If you need any help with anything, just tell me." And she kind of takes into account what she's looking at. She pauses like, that's fucking weird. What exactly do you all need help with?
We are here to see Borset.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Pardon.
It's all right.
And she kind of like goes into her. She touches on the computer real quick. Kind of like goes, realize like she's unsurprised, like she clearly forgot something. Kind of closes it and just calls out, "Hey Ronnie, lead him into the back, will you?" The quadrupedal robot puts down part of the box he has been reaching out of and walks over towards you. And using his manipulators, they kind of combine to form a much more large, to mimic the head of like an animal. And it moves it towards you guys, nods a couple times, and then nods in the direction as it turns, and it begins to walk towards the back of the store.
After a second, Morningstar will look at the lady, kind of give her like a polite nod, and then we'll slither after Borset.
So Ronnie the little
Or
drone.
Ronnie, rather. Ronnie, sorry.
So Ronnie leads everyone towards the back of the building, towards what appears to be the. I was going to describe the store as something, but now I can't remember the hell it's actually called. The insulated door of a walk-in freezer. Ronnie grabs the handle, twists it, and pulls it, kind of, moving himself around, leans into the thing to hold the door open for you all. And whoever is last in line as you all are walking in. Whoever's last in line, you can roll perception. You can choose who's last.
I mean, Mojave's hanging towards the back.
Liam typically brings up the rear because Mojave's a runner.
Unless people would have drug Jason out of the Amphibious, he would still be in the Amphibious. He might be sending a drone though.
We were specifically requested to all meet up with this person.
Yeah, I think you're getting dragged.
In that case, then Jay would be very close to Mojave.
Can I just be behind them with like a hand on like both their shoulders?
Absolutely.
Unless Mojave really wants to do the perception roll. That's fine too.
I mean, if Liam's taking up the rear, Mojave's hanging back, but he's not going to push the issue one way or the other. Like,
All right.
No, it's hard to get a direction, but about halfway into the place, like everyone else probably reached the door. This is not that long of a building. About halfway in, you're holding the two, and you hear a click. You don't know where it's coming from, but you absolutely hear a click. Honestly, that's the one thing. Second thing, everyone can roll perception for.
Oh.
This is a different thing that's needed.
I am. Is it okay if I'm rolling perception across the matrix?
That would be matrix perception, not regular perception. So if you want to do matrix perception, you can.
How do I do that?
Computer.
Oh, got you. Okay, then yeah, that's what I'll do. Because it's only a 2. But basically, her eyes, like, she's always in AR, so at the very least, whatever's on AR is what she sees.
Yeah, it's a little easier to see this. We'll do the physical first.
Okay.
Mojave, you notice towards the top, they're very clear, there's like maybe 2 of them, but it's those black domes that you know were 360 cameras. But those aren't uncommon, especially in Vegas. But you also will see that very clearly along the upper shelves and kind of hidden away are a lot more glassy black circles. There's cameras everywhere. There is no hiding spot. It's a lot of security for a deli. There's also, though it's hard to tell, you swear. You see some kind of movement. Very small movement. But little movements all along the upper shelves, but you can't get a pinpoint on what they are. On the Matrix, this place is a mess of connection points and wires. It is very unorganized. In fact, it's so unorganized, Scales, that it feels purposefully messy. Like that kind of messy where the person who owns it absolutely knows where everything is, but God help anyone else who's trying to figure it out. It is impossible to tell what goes where. Some of these clearly have the icons of, okay, I think that's an audio device. I think that's a visual device, but wait, where is it I can't AR this. I don't know where it is anymore. That could be anywhere. Where's the power source for this? Everything's messy. It's weird. You've not been in a space like this before. Though you do feel a familiar resonance everywhere here. It's Boar's Head. You've come into contact with his resonance before.
No?
Yeah?
Is it safe to say that it feels a little bit like a labyrinth as far as how everything is kind of just almost like meant to confuse you?
Yes.
Cool.
This is a place where it is difficult to come into, but you also know that, a layman, a regular hacker, or just someone messing around, it would look like this is just made by some amateur who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. But as a technomancer, you can recognize this isn't organized by regular code. It's organized on the resonance level, which is why the regular code looks so messy. If you were on the other side of the wall of this host, you could probably take your time and figure it out.
So it's similar. I mean, obviously the code itself is different because Boar's had made it, but it's similar to the situation that 404 has going on at our hideout.
Yes,
or
where
safe house, rather.
Yeah, there's some similarities there where you're pretty confident the amount of resonance in the air, though you can't pinpoint anything.
Mm-hmm.
It does feel that same way of the Technomancer has ingrained themselves in their own security system.
Yeah. Cool. I think she doesn't go too deep in, unless the little thing is still leading them inward. If it's not, I think she'll just wait for Boar's Head to come.
Oh yeah, it leads you all into the back freezer. It keeps guiding you. The freezer is regular meat freezer, a lot of shelves, a lot of boxes, extremely cold. Towards the back, there's what appears to be this panel, kind of like a circuit breaker box. And next to it is a couple temperature gauges that seemingly read the correct temperature. At least two of them. Two of them, even a layman can tell, all right, that's in blue. That's the cold. Then the next one's like, okay, that's still in cold, but I don't know why it's a different temperature. And the last one is in the red. The last one is measuring something really, really hot. Ronnie, the drone, pops the panel open. And it's just a mess of wires in there. God, it looks so disorganized. Any electrician's nightmare. But Ronnie grabs some loose wires, plugs in a few, and a panel on the back wall slides in and off to the right, revealing a darkened room that is bathed in a very dim, bluish light. Something that everyone recognizes as like the light coming from a computer screen. Although there seems to be a lot of computer screens. Upon walking in, which Ronnie kind of stands to the side and kind of waves his little manipulators in a motion of, hey, go inside. Inside, you immediately hear yourself step down onto a grate, metal grating. Looking below you, there is this huge tangle of rubber cable and massive wires or bundles of wires that weave in and out of everywhere. They're connected to machinery that you can't even see. And you realize they connect on the left side of the room, a server farm. Big server towers, at least 8 of them. And these are like modern day sized server towers in Matrix times. These hold a lot of data. These could run Vegas itself. This is huge. And all of it seems to be interconnected down on the floor, which all these cables, by the way, are entirely immersed, maybe an inch below the grate, with this kind of cloudy, clearish liquid that's like ever so slightly steaming and like fogging up a little bit. There's like this very low fog all over the ground. And all the cables wind through and connect to this massive computer unit with a huge screen that's got to be like, it looks like it's 10 foot by 10 foot. Or I guess 15 by 10 because, rectangular. It's huge. And surrounding it are screens of all sizes that kind of point out everywhere. A lot of them seem to be on boom arms so that they could be grabbed and pulled around in different directions. And everyone will immediately take note. On the main screen is something that almost looks like a screensaver, because Morningstar, binary pretty well. It's nonsense, but it's ones and zeros falling in a rain-like pattern. It's nonsense, and it's like, okay, that kind of looks like it's just a screensaver. But all the other screens, on one of them are still shots of Cloudy working in his room, of Morningstar curled up asleep in hers, Anxiety, what looks like what's the process of meditating. All these are still shots. Jay in his workshop, Mojave on the couch. All of these are recent too, or fairly recent, maybe a couple days old, because you recognize what you're wearing. On other screens are some more uncomfortable things. Collages of images from LA, taken from security cameras, street cameras, everything. Of pictures of everyone, sometimes on their own, sometimes in groups, sometimes all together. the Vamphibious at various stages of its existence, including back in the day before it was the Vamphibious, when it was just the van. And then there are a few screens that seem purposely pointed towards the door. On one screen, with, in the corner, a massive logo of Az Technology, there is a picture of a much younger looking Morningstar. And though some of the data is redacted, there is an experiment number. On another screen is multiple pictures of Anxiety, taken even before you met him. Some of them, Anxiety, you're aware that that photo would have had to be taken street view. It's not like in a building or anything. It's like from a traffic cam. But you know they had to have been taken in Tirtungair. As well as, though very messed up, and you're shocked it exists, a birth certificate with redacted information. Another screen has Oliver Falcone's prison records and a mugshot. Another is a form for a corporate sin for one Rohan Varma. The rest of its, other than the name, is redacted. And all of you can see that it is JSON. The last one is a Corpo ID with an employee number and everything from Az Technology for one Carlos Hernandez. Or Cloudy. And Cloudy, the screen that has your information is very uncomfortable. Because in the corner is a picture of a very pretty young woman that you know as Maria Ortega. And there is currently in the room, you cannot see anybody. You're just there with the computer, faced with these screens.
Morningstar scales flash red. She holds on to that anger rather than lashing out like she wants to, especially when she sees her friends' like personal information laid bare like this. And she says, "Now you're being rude. You could have just talked to us. This was unnecessary." And her eyes the whole time are searching for the door, the way to find Boar's Head,
Right. As you call out that, you hear kind of off towards behind the computer a bit of metallic tinking, something similar to how Midori sounds when he walks, although a little heavier. And then from the left, inside of where the server farms are, or I'll switch those, where the server farms are, you hear a little bit of scraping, some gentle, like, it's not loud squeaking, but a little bit of squeaking, and kind of an electric whirring. And from out between them comes a young elf, very thin, very sickly looking, with an oxygen nasal thing on his nose, a tank beside him as he is in a wheelchair with a few blankets over his legs. And he comes around and just calmly looks up at you, all of you. I guess I could have. But I don't think that would have made the point I wanted to.
And your point is what?
My point is to show an amateur how much of an amateur she is.
So you're just a shithead. That's all.
Yes, actually. Most people have called me that.
I understand.
Mojave is
Well.
dreading the fact that I have to ask this question, but I have to ask, like, do I recognize this guy at all?
Yes, you do. You are horrified. But you recognize him. We'll get to that. But you recognize
Okay.
him.
Okay, that's the great answer to hear, yep.
Mentally, I make the note that the next time I see 404, I might actually punch her in the mouth because, bitch, what the fuck? So, but I bottle that feeling up and I look to him and say, I don't know what happened to you and why you decided to treat me in this manner, treat my friends in this manner when we are looking for allies. But it seems to me you are not interested in saving the space in which you live.
You laughed like a dipshit, guy.
Fair enough. I haven't been able to laugh in a while. Also,
There's that slight twitch of a doctor wanting to move to health, but it's no more than a twitch before the rest of him stops himself in this time in this place.
see, this is the problem, rookie. You take everything so seriously, and you don't even notice. If I wanted to be your enemy, if I didn't want to be an ally, if I wanted to hurt you, why even show it to you? And why only show the redacted to everybody here? Did that ever cross your mind? You want to be angry? That's okay, kiddo. You're not gonna last a long time. You gotta look around it.
I am not interested in emotional riddles. I'm not interested in any of these games that you are trying to play. What I know is that there's a kind of bomb that is set in the city and it is going to go off, and I need your help to fix it.
Yeah, shut up, I get it. It's the fucking biodome.
Great.
You're not the first one to figure it out.
Cool. I wasn't under the impression that I was. This was stupid and unnecessary. Because if I wasn't the person that I was, if my friends weren't who they were, you and everyone in here would be dead. That's just the truth. Whether you want to admit it or not, you're on a fucking oxygen tank.
Of course I am. Do you think I'm the only one in here?
You are not
And-
getting my point. But okay.
Yeah, I mean, as he says that, everyone becomes aware. They're not hiding it. They're trying to be very loud about it. You hear a lot of those metal tinking noises. And from the ceiling to over the server areas to even behind you comes this sound and appears various quadrupedal drones, spider drones, a few what appear to be humanoid androids, including one who walks out from behind where Boar's head came from, and a very an android that's definitely meant to sort of appear kind of like you're assuming leaning more towards orc given the width and just the stature, but this isn't like a BioWare type android. It's mainly metal. There's no skin tone or anything, but just shape. And he comes around and he's holding a very large gun. And he just stands behind Boar's head, and behind you, you hear a whirring noise that you're weirdly familiar with, because it's the same noise that the Thunderstruck makes when it's charging. And Ronnie stands behind all of you. His chest plate has opened up, and there is a Thunderstruck inside him. And Jason, you're so aware of the Thunderstrucks, that classification of weapon, that is not the charging noise for I'm about to fire. It's the my safety is on and this thing's hot.
Safety's on or off?
Safety's on.
On.
It's like if that safety goes off, there's a good shot that thing will just fire. Like they're it's like revving a car while holding the brake. The Thunderstrucks are a very strange gun. They don't have the same kind of you can't even fucking cock it when the safety's on or fire proper. No. Thunderstrucks actually can have a whole ass lock pin that if it goes off, it's a fucking shot. And you know that is sensitive, and no one should attempt to hit Ronnie. If anyone attempts to hit him or stop him, that safety could fly off.
Oh, go ahead. Say what you're
Hey
gonna say.
guys, I don't know if any of us want to take a Thunderstruck to the face. You know what I mean?
No, like what's the point of all this fucking posturing, the both of you? Like, we both have a problem. What the fuck are you doing? What is this?
I think Morningstar just like I don't think she doesn't have the emotional bandwidth to like understand what this was meant to do. Like, she has been overly polite. Like, when shit popped off in the city, she warned this person. Like, she has been nothing but a good person to whoever this is. And I think she's just like, no wonder people hate technomancers. You're all garbage. Like, you're all just trash, you know?
To be fair, the first thing 404 warned us about him was that he was a bit of a dick. So.
No, but her included. She's also shit. Like, Morningstar's like, you're all trash. Like, maybe it was better if we all got taken out, because this is fucking silly. And I guess it also just, like, really rubs her the wrong way of, like, cool, you prove that I'm still learning. Like, I think she's just like, great, that does not help me with my problem. And I think she just was hoping for better. So her face and like her scales, everything about her goes from having been like excited to meet another technomancer to angry that they would do this to now just utterly disappointed and like, cool, this is all that you are. And I think he can read that on her face. I think anyone in the room can read that on her face of just like, cool, great.
While that conversation's happening, Jay's gonna like crouch down and just try to like scuttle out of the line of fire.
You will be allowed to scuttle out. You're basically going to be halted from getting too far from the party, but none of the bots are... They're basically just keeping you within, like, any of their range, not specifically the Thunderstruck. So you're in sight, and, like, everyone's keeping you in sight. And that's for anyone. If you try to move out, basically you'll maybe get about 5 feet any direction, and some bot is going to either stand in front of you or attempt to hold a line.
Yeah, I'll say at this point, Mojave is just standing there, stone-like, hat in hand by this point. Just standing there, not saying anything.
Boar's head kind of rolls himself all the way forward, so he's facing all of you. Alright. Snake, chick, scales, morning star, whichever you want. I can tell by your face, because I've been watching, that you're not entirely getting it, which is fair. Your only teacher was a fucking bitch who puts too much on her own shoulders and doesn't listen to anyone else. So, absolutely should have had a better one. Not your fault. But, being an idiot with no encryption algorithm, now that actually is your fault. Because that's basic fucking Matrix. That's how it works. And I would assume someone like you would have been paranoid enough. But clearly, you're not. Because you're running around with that motherfucker. And he points around you towards Mojave.
Yes, ready to go.
Yes. Oliver Falcone. I know who I'm running with.
Oh yeah. Hi,
That's
Ollie.
not who he was.
Shut up. Hi, Ollie. Why don't you
Hey.
step forward?
And he does.
I heard a lot
And
about forgetting that she's different. Are you?
yeah,
You sure?
he says nothing.
Because this doesn't look different. And Boar's head throws one of his arms up, and the big screen lights up with a shot of Jay in the workshop. There's no audio, it's just video. But from this camera angle, you watch as Mojave comes in the room, begins a conversation of some kind, and somewhere around the middle of it, pulls out a gun and holds it to Jay's head.
Jay's gonna hide behind one of the bots.
Morningstar looks at Mojave. There's no like anger or anything like that. She's just like, explain yourself. Like just waiting. Explain yourself, please.
Told you. I did tell you about that.
I see.
Me and Jay had a talk,
Yes.
and you'll notice I didn't shoot him.
No, you didn't shoot him, which is why all of you are still alive. Because someone announced her presence, trying to be nice. No one taught you not to be nice. I'm an asshole. You don't have to be an asshole, but you can't be nice. That's how you die. You're in the shadows. I should know. When you run around with the shadows and be criminals, you fucking die. And sometimes it's your employer. Sometimes it's the people you trust. Sometimes it's an asshole. And he looks at Ollie as he says this. Y'all say he's different. Y'all met this one. But do you really know what he was like? Do you actually know what he did back then?
Ooh.
Me.
Asked.
I don't.
I mean, are we gonna stand here and let this guy fucking jack off? Can we go? He's literally just beating his dick right now. Can we leave? That's it. He's throwing his shit real good.
Yes. I'm sorry for whatever he did to you back then. I can't change that. But who he is now, That is who is my friend.
Oh, and you're so good at picking friends, ain't ya? And he snaps his fingers, and the screen changes to a shot, a video. And it's actually of T. Actually T. He looks a little weird. It's in the dark, but you can tell it's him. And it is him picking up an Ares security vehicle and slamming it into the side of what appears to be a knight errant office. He is destroying. Another shot comes up, and it's T just coated in blood. It's a single shot, but he's just covered in blood and walking through a street. You are great at picking your friends. Really. And you're really good at hiding it. Absolutely. I mean, or maybe not. I mean, these are great, by the way. Editing's beautiful. And he pops up still shots, but they're all the videos you made of T. All the BTLs collapse down, obviously, into Tridio, but they're right there. 404's fast, but she's not fast enough. Well, she didn't realize she needed to be that fast. She's been overworked for a long time, and she wasn't ready for someone with that much skill and that little understanding to end up in her city. Makes sense.
This is a pretty shitty pitch if you want to be our friend.
I don't think Morningstar has anything she can say. I think she looks up at all those videos that she made. She sees T, and I think she just starts to cry. She doesn't say anything. Just sits there and takes it.
Yeah, Mojave's still stone-faced. Really the first time he's moved since this started is to just place a hand on her shoulder.
Oh. You learned how to comfort, did you, Ollie? Well, as your friend put it, I guess I'm a little bit done on my, whacking it? Nice, by the way. Don't work no more, actually. Nothing there works.
Oh my god, my sympathies.
Yeah, it's something that I struggled with. Especially when you can watch it over
Nick?
and over and over again of what happens. What happens when you trust Ollie Falcone? Do you want to see? Because I want to show you, Ollie. I want to tell you that I never fucking forgot. Because I know you remember. But how do you feel about me showing your friends, huh? Showing how you actually are. Or were? Should I be using were, Ollie?
Yeah,
I've
worse
got
sounds good.
They've got every right to know the truth. I've told them. And I know talk's cheap, but for what it's worth, I am sorry.
There's like a moment where his kind of bravado and asshole type confidence kind of falters at the I'm sorry, but it's very quickly filled by a much more hot anger. You're sorry? Oh, you're sorry. Oh, okay. Good. You should be. I'd say you should say sorry to Katie, but you can't. Can you? And he flashes up on screen a video. And it actually looks like the same room you're in, or at least a similar room. And you see Boar's Head, but walking. and he is bringing over what looks like a water bottle to what appears to be a very lovely young woman sitting in some kind of chair with a jack and in the back of the chair, and she's drinks the water, sets it down, and lays into the chair, and she seems to jack in and fall asleep, or go into the matrix. And you can't hear anything. There is no audio here, but Boar's head suddenly jolts a little bit, kind of looks around. He turns and he walks slightly off frame. You can't see what happens, but when Boar's head does come back on frame, he's clearly talking and chatting. He's, nonchalant, throws his hand over his head. And there's a flash that comes on screen. And Boar's head hits the ground. And he slams into the grating floor. And you can tell he's screaming. You can tell that he's in pain. And a man in a suit, Oliver Falcone, probably at his worst, walks through the room and steps over Boar's head. He walks up behind the girl in the chair, and with no motion, no weight, no setup, nothing, he holds the gun to the back of her head and paints the computer screen in front of her with her brain. He then goes over, does something on the computer, and you can see, after this woman is dead, Boar's head is crying and screaming. He is absolutely devastated. And in the middle of it, you watch as Ollie, while messing with the computer, he turns. And it's not obviously audible, but he clearly says something. And Boar's head pauses the video. And he looks at Mojave. Do you remember what you said to me? Do you remember?
There's some reluctance as Mojave shakes his head.
You said, could you shut up? You took my best friend from me. You took my partner from me. And you cast her into the fucking Matrix permanently. I have kept this fucking server farm running to make sure that she doesn't disappear. That she doesn't fall and get taken in by the Foundations.
I'm sorry. I know that's not enough. I know nothing I can't ever make it right.
Boar's head's hand falls and the video starts playing again. Oliver Falcone finishes whatever he's doing, and you watch as he walks out and just nothing. No emotion, no care. He walks over past Boar's head, puts his gun down, and double taps the man. And Boar's head falls silent, and Oliver Falcone leaves. I haven't been able to walk in 3 years. My lungs were punctured. My eyes don't work. I can't go outside anymore. Not safely. When your brain gets that fucked up, it does a lot. And unlike Deckers, unlike regular people, my people, we can't get modifications. We can't fix it. Because then we lose our power. We lose how good we are at it. I would be worthless if I did that. I'm worth more as someone who can barely move. Can't fucking
I took
stand.
everything from you. And I'm sorry.
How fucking dare you say you're sorry? 3 years! 3 years! We all waited for this! And he kind of points around to these bots, these drones. The android man behind him. We all suffered because of your fucking selfish ass. And you come in here.
Sorry.
Uh,
Go ahead.
You come in here with what? A stuck-up little boy, someone who couldn't give a fuck about being here. At least one actual fucking Shadowrunner, and one of my people. One of my people who I can see hasn't been trained, wasn't taken care of. Have you seen the shit? It took me less than an hour when I first noticed her resonance. There were breadcrumbs everywhere. And
What do you
Scales.
want?
Shut up. Scales. I know I'm an asshole. And I know you think I'm blaming you or yelling at you. That's fine. Hate me. But I'm just upset. I'm upset. Because this motherfucker made it so you came into a world where none of us had the fucking ability to come get you. In a world where those fuckers at Aztec got enough people that they started realizing how to make their own.
Morningstar doesn't say anything. She's like processing what he's saying, right?
Oh, yeah.
What she just saw on the screens. But when Morningstar looks at the various, drones and whatnot, when she first got to the city, she saw those like sort of like funeral spots, like, you know what I'm saying, like burial sites almost of her people, right? When she looks at these various drones and whatnot, does she sense their resonance? As if Boris had like locked them into these various robots?
You look around, and now that you're kind of behind the veil, as it were, you're in a deeper point. Mm-hmm. All of these drones have resonance. Every one of them. But all of it's different. None of it matches Boar's head. There are no locks on here. And the worst part is, you can feel it. There's different levels. There's different types. And in your soul, you kind of realize not all of them are all together anymore. Dying while connected is painful. It's devastating. It tears you apart, breaks you from the material world. It's impressive that enough of them survived to even inhabit this many drones. But the truth is, of the ones that actually have resonance scores and aren't just automated, there's only maybe 10. And way more died.
Yeah.
Now that I am here, what do you want me to do? I can't ever make things right. But I'm trying to make things better.
Boar's head, his anger had absolutely started him into a coughing fit. and you see him, like, he takes a moment and actually pulls out, like, a proper mask to force more oxygen into his system. Like, desperately keeping himself up. Can't really do anything. That's the worst part. I paid attention to everything I could get on all of you. And I know. Ollie Falcone, I know, would have never helped poor people. He never would have sat there with helpless people, giving them medicine, out there laughing. But for real, I know you're not exactly the same. I just needed to know that you didn't just forget. That at least you knew. Because at this point, so many of us have been forgotten. So many of us forgot our name. I am an asshole, you know? And he waves his hand, and all the drones start walking away. They start backing up. You can see some of them, they're putting their guns down, but they kind of are going over either into corners or against servers, and they kind of go into, like, a low power mode where they're kind of like, they're awake, but they look sad. Like, they can't fully keep all their servos together. Some of them glitch out a little bit. All the automated ones work perfectly. They're, back to wherever they meant to be. Ronnie behind you deloads the Thunderstruck he has. Closes his panels. And he kind of nudges to get through to all of you. And when he can, he trots over to Boar's Head and proceeds to pull out both of his manipulators and starts to, from below him, below Ronnie, pull out another oxygen tank and do a switch for Boar's Head. And then he takes the empty one and walks back behind the server farm. The android orc behind Boar's Head, kind of just hands on shoulders as Boar's Head continues. I didn't put all of this here to threaten you. I didn't put it all here to just embarrass you. Scales, if I'm correct. You were right, by the way. Morningstar got grabbed by them. They know that name. It's smart of you. It's the one really smart thing you did. I did this, and it wasn't all her. Not all of you have done your best to hide. Some didn't even care. Some didn't even know to. Especially some rich kids, and he looks right at Jason.
I got a fake sin, and I got a shadow on a name. What else do I gotta do?
I'm not actually going to answer that because I'm actually going to try to calm down before I send myself into an asthma attack.
Sorry.
Damn, not an asthma attack.
You know what is happening in the city. That's what we're trying to stop.
I know.
You can help us if you'd like.
Of fucking course I'm gonna help. Look at all these people here. That thing goes off, all of us get wiped out. I was never not gonna help you. That's what I'm saying. That's what you gotta learn. You gotta
Are
see.
you offering to teach.
I'll teach. I'm a better teacher than 404. I actually tried.
There's a weird expression on Morningstar's face. It is. It's anger, but it's like a cold anger. It's not directed at Borshead. I don't have the right word for the anger that she feels, but she just, I think, there's like a iciness that comes over her as she realizes just like how much risk she was actually putting her friends in, putting herself in, and like all 404 had to say was like, this is how you hide yourself better. That like all she had to do was give her like the briefest of clues and she would have ran with the rest. But she didn't. She like let her continue on being that way. So I think she looks at Borshead and she says, right. We don't have much time. But whatever you are willing to teach me, I will listen.
We're gonna do our best to make sure there's more time. I think I've made my point for your first lesson. Just to be more careful. Get an encryption algorithm. Seriously. And get a good one. 404 doesn't use them. She has other ways around it. She doesn't think about them. This is why I don't like otakus.
Yes, I will. We'll do that. Is there anything else?
Anything else? Other than me exhausting myself. No. You know what? There's one more thing you can do for me. You can give something to 404 for me. And he kind of rolls over to where and you realize this right in front of the computer is a main console that is almost identical to the chair that who he said was Katie was shot in. And he goes over and grabs what looks like a small piece of metal off the desk piece of it. And he comes over to you and he hands it to you. And you recognize it. It is basically a USB stick, but with its connection piece missing. So, like, only, like, wireless hacking. And actually, no, this thing doesn't have a wireless signal. You're thinking to yourself, like, your skin link could get to this thing. Maybe opening up and wiring could get to this thing. That's wild. And he passes it to you. And I assume you reach for it and take it?
Absolutely, yeah.
When you do, he grabs your arm. Like, reaches forward after you grab it. And in your head, no one else can hear this, you hear a very different version of his voice. I am an asshole. I'm sorry. But it's been a long 3 years. And I've seen a lot of bad things. Don't blame any one of us. All of us took it differently. Don't hate her. Don't hate me. You can be mad at her. but don't turn on her. And he lets you go. And you remember when you were taught, 404 stated that technomancers with skin link who come into contact with each other can speak telepathically.
Right. Okay.
Boar's head lets you go, and he leans back in his chair, and you can hear, this close, you can hear the very labored breathing as he pulls in the pure oxygen.
Yeah.
Just as I'm standing here, Dr. Brain, looking at him, sensing physically, is there anything I could do to try to offer to make his condition a little bit easier?
Would you like to roll a sensing to try to do a little bit of a what the fuck's wrong with this man? Or a medicine
yes.
roll?
Yeah. Skimming my sheet real quick to try and figure out what I'm better at. I will assent, and honestly, I think I might toggle edge for this because, like, if anybody.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you can in a sense toggle edge for it. Go ahead. Roll the big numbers. The big numbers. With that as sensing, you can tell Boar's Head is missing some of his essence. He's maybe only at, like, actually no, with that high, I could give you the real world things from his sheet. 4 out of 6. He's missing 2 whole essence from his body. You can tell that even though he said he couldn't get modification, it seems he had to. There is a piece in his chest that is the only reason the one lung he has left can inflate, as his diaphragm is destroyed. Other than that, he has severe spinal trauma. He is extremely just destroyed interior. And there's absolutely still metal lodged in his brain. One of the bullets absolutely hit him in the head.
And is there anything I could remotely do to ease his condition?
The only thing that can ease a person in this kind of condition is probably pain medicine. There's not a lot of... It's not really a sickness as much as it's just physical damage. And the body maybe not adapting the best, and it's just pain.
Which probably doesn't help in making him a bit of an asshole.
And
It's hard to be nice when you're in constant pain.
Right? And you can actually tell something with this, because that's fucking high as hell. There are no pain meds in his system. And there is not even remnant of pain meds in his system. He has none of those medicines in his system. He does not seem to have any, for some reason. Whether that is willful or a result of him technically being a very high-level criminal.
Yeah, I think, like... It doesn't feel like the right time, and I'm certainly not the right person, but also, like, I gotta do something. I think, like, as things are winding, the heat is starting to dial down a little bit. There is that moment of, you know, like everything about us. You know what I've been doing with my time lately. I'm a doctor now, near as many people can get. If there's anything I can do for you, get for you. I know I can't ever make things right. But say the word. I'll make it happen.
He looks up at you. Right now? No. Maybe I'll call on you later. I know everything about you. I know you got a phone now. And I do know the number.
don't hesitate.
Yeah. Y'all can take anything you want from the deli. I will help you. And Scales, I'll be actually in touch. No bombs, no worms, no nothing. Normal in touch. And I'll get you some information. I'll even show you what a real encryption algorithm looks like.
I look forward to it.
Yay. There's too many of you damn normal people in here. Get the fuck out. And he kind of scrolls over to his chair. And the android man comes over and literally picks him up and sets him in the larger chair, and he kind of just leans back in it, and you see his eyes close, and the big android basically just turns, arms crossed, and stands in front of him. There's no malice, but he just stares at you all.
Marissa doesn't. Wait, she's gone.
She's fucking gone.
Yeah, I think like the minute that he was like, "I'll be in touch," and like stopped talking, right after that, she already turned and was gone. Like, yeah, it's a lot. So she just leaves because what is there to say, you know? I don't know what I would have to roll, but I want to know where in the city 404 is. So I'd like to find her.
Computer.
Okay.
Just as that's being sorted, I will say that Mojave, this time he is last out of the room because he just looks over his shoulder back at Boar's head as though like trying to commit the face to memory. Just like he's not gonna say that I'm glad you survived because that's not an appropriate thing to say, but like he's glad that, you know, one fewer
The
victim.
heart is there, yeah. I got a 5.
Yeah, that's enough to try to track her resonance. She's hiding herself well, but funnily enough, you've at least been around her stuff enough that you could kind of put 2 and 2 together of finding the empty space she leaves and check where the resonance is. You're not good enough to get, you know, pinpoint detail of where the fuck she is, but you know the general area of where she is.
Okay.
And it surprises you because you got it down to about a half-mile area.
Mm-hmm.
But right in that half-mile area is the Vice Hotel.
Yeah. So Morningstar is already at the car. And she is so mad. I think like part of her anger too is that she had that like her collection of hackers, right? And she trained them far better than she ever taught anything to Morningstar. And I think she's just like that. The idea of burning the whole city down is feeling real good right now. So
Burn it all down.
Yeah, just burn out all of it. Burn it all. Once the others sort of join up with her, she will say 404 is with Vice right now. I imagine she is looking to make a deal to fix her wrongs. I will leave it up to you to decide if perhaps it would be better to dissuade her. That can't be my choice. And she'll get into the car.
She'd listen, honestly.
What was that? One more time.
I don't think she would listen, honestly, if that's what she's gonna do. Like, we can say whatever we want, but if she's there, it's over.
I'll say Mojave is quiet on this front. His face is still utterly impassive. It really hasn't moved since we entered and saw the guy in there, but it's got those subtle twitches of, emotion that's being kept inside.
I think I would like to get snacks. I'd like to go home. And I'd like to watch a movie.
The movie sounds good. I heard there's this cool movie about giant mecha fighting giant kaiju.
It's called
Get into that.
It's called Atlantic Edge.
I could get into it.
But
Yeah.
before we're gone completely, go ahead and tell Finn, hey buddy, go and remember what that guy looks like in the astral for later, would ya?
Just like fully black shark eyes, tongue hanging out, pause for a moment, and then tongue in nods.
Hat is pulled low over his eyes as a sob is repressed.
Morningstar in one hand has her tail, like once we're all in the car. She has one hand on her tail in this kind of like self-soothing act. But I think she leans over and she puts a hand on Mojave's hand. And she doesn't say anything because she knows she doesn't have to. But it's her way of saying, like, none of that stuff matters. You're still my friend. But I don't think she has words to like even cover any of that shit, So like she's just there holding his hand, wanting to go home with her friends. But there's this quiet part of her, and she pushes it down so that it's just like just beneath the surface. And it is like this unrelenting rage, and she fully intends on dealing with 404 when she sees her.
So this is one of those rare moments where Mojave actually astral eyes are closed. He's gone dark. He can't bear to just look at anybody's aura right now. He's having a moment.
Yeah. And then I think we go home.
You all collect your things after an interesting meeting. An enlightening one in some ways. And you go get snacks at a local stuffer shack, like right in the Walmart at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Everything
and,
you can want.
And Jay, by the by, if we ever tell you to go into someplace like that again, while we're still in Vegas, tell us to go fuck ourselves.
Noted.
He had
I
every
will
reason.
gladly tell you that. And I, in fact, hold on. And Jay's just going to like, okay, I clipped it. I'll play it back.
He had every reason.
I mean, my people go through the same thing actively currently these nights. You can just choose not to be a fuckface about it.
Yeah, Morningstar absolutely agrees. She nods, because there is not a single person in this car that has not experienced some degree of loss or grief or regret or guilt. He's just had 3 years of it building and no one to take it out on.
And a whole bunch of his friends half there to remind him what he lost. I kind of get it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it,
Uh,
sure, but I mean, fuck him.
That's right, you know. I didn't know any of their names.
I don't know any of the names of the people that we deal with. I don't know the names of the people that I've killed.
He worked for my family.
I understand. She just coils her tail around him and pulls him in close. Doesn't say anything. Just hold on to him.
I shot them both and I didn't even care to learn their names.
No, their names, no.
Quiet nod.
Morning Star is going to, and I will happily roll for this. I don't know if I need to have like a specific skill to do this, but I think she starts to, based on like what she learned from 404 today, her experiences with these various encryption codes and whatnot, I think she starts to essentially build a code that she is wrapping around every device, object, thing that she has had access to, at least for now, amongst her friends.
I give you an encryption algorithm.
Yes. Wonderful.
She does not know that's what it is yet, but she will learn.
Beautiful. Yes. And I think that I think she starts to do this thing where she, like, any camera that they're going to go by, she knows the whole layout of the city. At this point, any camera they go by, she shuts it off. Like, she just you know what I mean? Like, just making it so that those frames that they are within sight, they vanish. Like, she just starts consuming the data as they go. After what she saw, after what Forrest had said, after she had given 404 the chance to fix it, and she didn't. She will never make that mistake again. So they do not exist in the city anymore. She just starts eating the data.
Yeah, Mojave is
Hungry
just curled
snake
up
throughout the
miserable, but the player is just imagining scales like Pac-Man.
Oh, truly, like you know the game snake? That's her
It's
right
just
now. Just all over the city.
Just falling to Amphibious, just it's getting longer.
Yep, getting longer as she goes through the city till she takes up the entirety of the city. Yeah, no, she just because,
I have
never again.
I have a question for you, Scales.
Yes.
You looked up the location of where 404 was.
Mhm.
Was that instantaneous, like you just did it once and that's it? Or will you check again?
Oh, if I can, I would mark her. So I'd always have her location.
Honestly, I'll just allow you to have it up because you're basically just tracing where she's going. You don't really need to mark that. You're using other data to figure it out.
Yeah.
You'll actually be able to follow it later on, about the time you guys get home with your snacks and you're getting ready to watch Atlantic Edge.
Yeah.
404 changes locations. And she travels a good bit across the city and ends up somewhere within like a half-mile radius of Papa Muse's area. She's entered that section of town.
What is she doing?
And while you keep tabs on her, she definitely spent with Vice. You don't know when she got there because you didn't check until after you'd left Boar's Heads. But from when you started, she was there for maybe 20 minutes. The rest of this evening, she will be spending in Papa Muse's domain.
I will tell the mages so that everyone knows. She's with Papa Musa now, so who knows what she is doing.
What day of the week is it?
Good question.
Hold on.
I don't know.
Hold on.
Is it
More
Thursday?
importantly, is it like a weekend or some like particular event where they'd be
No.
running something?
I think it's a weekday. Might be like a Tuesday.
Hmm.
It's like a Tuesday.
It's like a Monday or a Tuesday, I think. When was Battle Bats? Because Battle Bots was on a Friday.
Yeah, so this must be like a Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right. See this. I feel like he could do it something every day, like Tequila Tuesday or Mad Libs Monday. I don't know, but still weird.
Yeah,
Fine,
yeah.
Marge.
he could.
Um,
Well, I mean, he does karaoke, so. Yeah, who knows what she is doing.
yep.
I will also, yeah, I will also eat up any data that had been left in the wake of me hacking Layla's stuff. I'll just like make sure everything is gone. I am erased.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
go back through those areas and erase what little remains, because you can definitely see that, though not perfect, because it is very difficult when it's not yours to clean it up perfectly. Clearly some of
Yeah.
the dudes had started to clean it up as just like, oh, hey, shit, that's actually one of us. We should probably get rid of that.
Yeah.
But you're able to find the remnants and go, all right, clean that up, clean that up, clean that up. Get yourself, de-log out of that one lady's Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I also like for flavor, she almost like skin links with the house. But she ingrains herself into the security system, and she, while they're watching this movie together, and she kind of like sort of keeps herself like just very close to them. Like I think she's very shaken by all of that nonsense, and so she just is like, I'm gonna hang on to these people that are real.
I'm gonna say that, like, unfortunately for the hanging on to everybody, this is one moment where Mojave excuses himself from the living room and the snacks and the movie, and he's going to go off to whatever spare room he has not claimed, or just an unoccupied room, to just go and just kind of like be by himself for a little bit.
Oh, I get it. Yeah. I won't chase after him or anything. She understands he needs his space. But yeah, so she kind of like just keeps herself to the people here. But she skin links to the house. And again, I will be more than happy to roll, but she turns this system into a fortress. Like it is. I don't know what a good digital comparison would be, but she interweaves her own essence into it to make those binds tighter, and just solidly blocks everything off.
So
You know.
this system is very interesting. I will need 2 rolls to do the complete integration, and this will define how strong it is. You'll need to roll compiling as if you were making a sprite.
Okay. Okay.
It's good.
You know what? I'm gonna use edge. So
Okay.
we're gonna go to sleep. So I'm gonna use edge. Okay, so compiling, you said. Let me make sure the toggle's on so I don't fuck up. Okay, it is. Cool. 10.
Oh. Oh, fuck. DM's dying. Hold on.
Boris had scared the fuck out of her, so she's like,
Understood.
nope.
Nope.
She
Yep,
said, nope,
putting that
never
out there.
again.
And then roll me a software to finish blending into the regular computer side of things.
Okay, I will also be using my final edge for this. So software, you said.
Yes.
It is a 6. So not as thing, but yeah.
Okay. You have created Fort Knox.
Good, that was the intention. Yeah.
No, that's a lie. That's a lie. Air can at least get into Fort Knox.
Yeah, she listen. Before, her protectiveness definitely came from like a selfish and a really bad place. After this experience with Boar's Head, there is none of that. She doesn't have any of that stuff left for a good ticket. But this is different. The ease in which Boris had gained that information about her friends, about herself, the way he'd been able to access like watching them since LA, the fact that 404 didn't tell her anything, didn't try to help her be better, when she had the opportunity to teach her that, like when they were in the PR earlier, she's like, never, ever, ever again. Like, there's no way. So yeah, they disappear off the map of LA. You know, and she just keeps them protected.
Nope. Yep, that is fucking hell. All right, keeping that in mind. Jesus Christ, that's a big boy. All right. That is.
I mean,
As-
hey, mission accomplished. Warhead. She learned her lesson.
Yeah, I'm writing down that this firewall level will remain until you leave the proximity of the system.
Cool.
Because then you will have to deintegrate yourself.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
No, you have aligned yourself into the system, created an insanely powerful firewall to protect everybody. You all have your snacks. Mojave is having a moment. An entire night. More than likely.
Yeah.
404 will not return in the morning. I will just put that. But with that, you all watching TV, enjoying yourselves, we are going to end for today. Unless anything has anything last minute things they want to do.
I don't think Liam hangs out for the movie.
Is Liam gone?
I think he definitely gets on his bike and heads out.
Perfectly fair. We will.
Is this a?
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
No.
I was just gonna say, is this in the morning time or the nighttime?
We're ending on the nighttime. I'm just clarifying that
Okay, gotcha.
404 will not be returning in the morning.
Yeah, I guess Jay would watch the movie because he did suggest a mecha movie. So he'll stay and watch the movie. And when that's done, I guess either if everyone else heads off to bed or not after the movie, I think Jay's going to go to his workshop and try to get a little bit more time trying to, touch up the details and all before he eventually goes to sleep. Yeah.
Then how's about, right before we end, give me the cyber technology roll.
Cyber technology roll.
And then next time, I'll tell you if it was enough.
Hey.
Can I use edge?
Yes, you can, if you have any left.
Well, it's it's
The
the
last
one. Yeah, it's the last one that I regained when I woke up. I keep spending it. I've burned through all my edge, and now I'm spending it as fast as I recover it.
You get an edge, and you get an edge, and you get an edge.
Cyber technology.
Alright, that's written down, and the answer to whether or not the troll unit is up will be next time.
Ah,
Hey.
On Dragon Ball Z.
I'll see you. I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank my players for playing. And I hope everyone had a lovely time this evening.
Yes.
Mhm.
We are gonna go, and I know for hopefully links should work today. We're gonna go in order of most likely to burn the city down. So, Morningstar, who are you and why do you exist?
Hi. I exist to cry. Hi everyone. Man, what is my outro stuff? What do? I do this. I do TTRPG stuff. You can find me here on Table of Horrors doing a bunch of things. You can also find me at Lanyap Gaming, where I am a player, but also coming up, I will be an ST, and you will see that in some familiar faces, and we're going to tell you a story, and hopefully you will enjoy it. Other than that, I do spicy content. You can find all that in my link stuff. Find me all over the internet as the Risa Rave. I have a link that's in like all my bios that you can find what you need there. Other than that, that's really it. I hope you guys have a good night.
Next up, mostly actually the twin spot, because not character-wise, but person-wise. Mojave, who are you and why do you exist?
Hey! Hi, I'm Jay Breakathon. I exist to, I can't decide whether I'm about to say inflict or suffer emotional damage. Either or, yes. And, you know how it is. You know how I play. You can find me here, there, and other places doing stuff like this and other stuff. You can also find me over on my own channel, Day Breakathon, where I stream whatever I want, whenever I can. Then I wrote a couple of books that I recommend you check out. Worked very hard on them. Third one is coming. Working on that. I also did the character art for the characters who have art, and my commissions are open if you'd like me to do some art for you as well. I think that's stuff, except oh no, the dog is he would say hi, but he's currently a tiny furry orb in his little dog bed, so
He's sleeping.
The baby.
yeah. Oh no, he's looking at me now.
Oh, he's
So
aware.
he does say hi.
He smells us.
Hi, okay. Hi, puppers.
All right. This next one is also another tie for different reasons. The first one is partially accidental, partially because my man's grasp on reality might be a problem. Jason, who are you and why do you exist?
I am Noskarian. I play Jason on Table of Horrors on Mondays. I have friends who write books, such as our very own Day Breakathon, who's written Wordbreaker and Windswept. Check them out. Good books.
Great books.
Great books. Yeah, great books.
Hard hands.
And,
I worked hard.
I have friends who've written other books too, such as Bloodlust of the Bloodletting series, and Obelisk, The Long Dream of the Violet Stars series. Check them out too.
Good shit. Good shit. I still need to make that library panel for our channel. Whoopsies.
Mhm.
All right, next one. For the most part, accidental. But maybe not, because Finn's kind of chaotic. Cloudy, who are you and why do you exist?
As someone who started the creation of a magical nuke on their own initiative, I'm way too back on this list.
Yeah, right.
But
That is
hello,
fair.
my name is Lord Verdun. I play someone who's normally here to try and solve problems, especially when those problems involve giant magical blood spirits that could hypothetically also burn the spirit down on their Dire City down on their own.
Yeah.
But I play games here occasionally, play games on some other friends' things occasionally, but nothing all that much on my own. Oh well, I'm good for it.
That's all right. More for us.
And then finally, someone who didn't start the fire, it has been burning, but they absolutely will just leave it to burn. Anxiety, who are you and why do you exist?
I'm Slip. I exist to, mostly get my revenge, and I will have it. This could be the beginning of it. We'll see. I'm here, Table of Horrors, for this. I'll be here in some other games, at least 2 that I know. And then I will also be at Lanyard for at least 2 games that I know.
And then I've been your Cosmic GM, Softenomicon, and I'm fairly certain at this point I exist to commit emotional war crimes against my best friends.
Yay, emotional war crimes against best friends!
Obviously, here at Table of Horrors, I have second in command. I am the Cosmic GM. I do run the Flood here on Mondays. Obviously, Shadowrun 5e. I also have 2 games that are in hiatus, but I am working on them, which are Return to Silence, which is a Monster Hearts 2e game, and Blood Price, which is much longer term hiatus, sadly, but it is a VTM spot game. Both do have uploads to the YouTube, so if you want to see what we have already and what you're in store for later, those are up there. In fact, I probably should put up, the TOH links to all the different stuff.
Yeah.
For TOH. Oh, I also run our TikTok, so if you want to watch stupid clips that I've edited myself, you can go see that.
They're hilarious. Go watch them.
Yeah, in Pixie,
I'm
we
on
trust.
I'm on there a
Mhm.
lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're really funny.
You are
Well,
really
you're kind
funny.
of the source of.
Most comedy. All right. I have my own channel as well. Hold on. Other channels first, then my own channel. Other channels. I am probably also going to be, I'm certainly going to be over on Lanyap Gaming in at least 2 games that I know of. Maybe more. Who knows? Also, maybe my art's going to be over there. Who knows?
Hey, maybe.
Maybe Day's art's going to be over there. Who knows?
We'll fucking see.
But for my own channel, obviously I've kind of already spoiled it. I do artwork and I do video games when my hand gets tired. I have commissions open. I do overlays and logos, and I'll do character art if you like the creature talking. I can do that.
Hey.
I do many wiggly boys and a lot of body horror. But I also have a Patreon where I'm specifically making a coloring book called The Periodic Table of Monsters. I just put up the next page, and the other page is already set and we'll be releasing next month. $3 is all you need, unless you're on iPhone, and then I'm really, really sorry. Because fuck you, Patreon, apparently. But if you're on anything else, $3, and you can have every one of the pages I've done so far, and the pages that are coming. We're on 10. 11's already done, and 11 will be next month. I think that's everything I have. All of the Table of Horrors links are in there. Trying to find... What the fuck? Alright. There they are.
Yeah.
Alright, I knew I'd find them. Alright, we're gonna go rating on the Lollygaggers. Because that name is really funny. And they're playing the Alien RPG, so hey.
Ooh.
Cinders of Heaven, that's just badass. Alright, but we're gonna go start that fucking raid, and then we cannot leave until... You know what? I've harmed you enough this session. We cannot leave until Morningstar says the line.
Listen, if your friends aren't committing emotional war crimes against you, they're not your real friends.
Yay, emotional war crimes!